Hello, hello. Hey, Sinicello. Happy Monday afternoon. It is time to work on treasure chest. We got done with all the key stuff this morning. I'll show that really quickly. So we now have this sign up here, build weapon grinder and key storage. So you can build this, and then you get the weapon grinder, you get 4 different key displays, and if we make a bunch of everything pretty much and turn this thing on, workers will automatically bring weapons up to the weapon grinder. It's not pathable right now, so they stop like here-ish. But then as they bring weapons to it, it generates keys. And there's nothing to do with the keys yet. So that's where we are now. And well, maybe not by the end of this afternoon, but hopefully by the end of this afternoon, we have chests that we can open. So we got to get to work on that. Hey, Reformulate, happy 2 years. Thank you very much for the momentous occasion of resubbing. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, we want to add the treasure room. It's a building with some special item displays that can hold chests. But while the chest is there, it can be opened. And I guess you can never remove a chest from it. Did I ever talk about that? I don't know if I ever talked about that. Can you move a chest? Hmm. Yeah, I don't know if I talked about that. Because if you... Okay, I need to think about that. Time flies when you're having fun. That it does. Should you be able to start opening a chest and then move it somewhere else? If you can, then you'd probably want to be able to see how long that chest has left to open before it opens. And I don't know what I said about this. I think you can click a chest and bring it into the slot, but then it probably like locks in once it's there. Yeah, maybe it's just an item destination. I think I'm going to do that at first. Once a chest is in the treasure room, is on a treasure room display, it shouldn't be able to be moved. Shouldn't really be a reason for that. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's just tough. I'm torn on this. Let's just leave it to playtesters to figure out. Or playtesting. I shouldn't say playtesters. I can do it too. All right. So anyway, building has 4 special item displays. Make a new scene and inherit from item display. Yeah. So we got to go make a treasure room. We got to make a creatable thing. We got to make a sign for it, etc. There's a lot we're gonna do for this. So let's get to it. It is very similar to the farm, and that you just build it once and you're done. So let's save this as treasure room. Should we call it a treasury? Treasury. No. I mean, it is technically a place or building where treasure is stored. I think I would associate it more with money than treasure. And I kind of like, well, whatever. We can always rename it later. I'll call it treasure room for now. Treasure room sign. So there we go. Now we go make this treasure room sign. And then we go into farm sign and save this as treasure room sign. Cool. Rename this to what? Why does it say fishing pond cost? What? Hold on a second. Do I not have... I have farm costs here. Wow, this is just broken. I never noticed. Farm cost. Okay. Well, we need a treasure room cost. Treasure room cost. I don't know what this should be. I'm going to say 200. Actually, 200 wouldn't make it work. It probably should be 200. So I'll set it to... Yeah, I'll set it to 100 for now. That way I don't need to use cheats to get to it. But we probably should balance this. So I'll write this down in the notes. Where's cleanup? Here it is. All right, so balance treasure room cost. it should probably be 200. It also lets you find the treasure chest. So treasure room. No. That's not how that works. It's build treasure room. Yeah. And then these both say this. And then this says allows you to find treasure chests and open them. Nice. All right, so now we call create treasure room. All right, so let's go add in the sign. Let's add in the function here. Did I delete something from that? Who knows? Create farm. All right, so copy. Another Monday. Hope it's awesome week. Hey, Krasner. Thank you very much. You know, I had 2 meta goals today. It was take breaks and don't complain about the amount of work. And so far, it's been going great. And I do think this has been very helpful. Because before this, I was feeling really overwhelmed, and I think I was just amplifying that feeling of being overwhelmed. But so far, we have not talked about the amount of work, other than to talk about not talking about the amount of work, which is not talking about the amount of work. So we are A-okay. And we're working on a new feature. I'm excited to see how this goes. As of, I think it was February of this year is when we came up with the farm and something else, and a change to leveling up. And I think this was pretty core to the game, and it works very well. And it was, what, 8 months into development that we came up with it. It wasn't even like it was early on. I love talking about not talking about things. It's great, isn't it? Is there a command for the last playtest? So the playtest is a slightly different document. If you want to join the playtest, you definitely can. And the document's how you find out. But if you just want to play the game, like the demo that's available, you can just do it from Steam if you want. All the cool people are in. Hey, Matt. Yeah, I'm very excited about what I'm working on right now. Okay, so we got to go find the treasure stuff. And this is going to be called the treasure room. So treasure room. Good. So that's going to be here. We're going to just replace all of those things. I guess get the farm as well. Treasure room doesn't even exist. We need to do that. I was looking for the last feedback VOD. I'm not sure I know what you mean. What would be in that VOD? Oh, like where I'm processing feedback? I don't think any of those have happened for a long time. I think that in general, I would go through that off stream and then just form to do items. And the bigger stuff, I would tend to make a dedicated design stream for. So if you look at last week's VODs, for example, you'll see one where we talk about the treasure stuff that we're doing now and reusing locations and some other little things. We talked about crafting for some time. But that wasn't, I guess it was kind of due to feedback, but it was this general sentiment of like, I want more game. And I didn't know what more game would look like. So, yeah. The hope here is that for the first half of the game, you're playing the demo as it exists now. And for the second half of the game, this treasure stuff is keeping you intrigued. That's the hope. Will it pan out that way? I don't know. I think if you have any game where, let's say, you introduce a new mechanic every 10 minutes for 2 hours, and then you just ask people, like, what do you expect for the next 2 hours? They'd probably say, like, more mechanics. I don't know. Maybe not. So at some point, you got to be done introducing mechanics in your game, and you got to get to more content. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping helps. Hey, Boomer. Boomer, I can't help but think about your whole I'm steamed message from the other day. It just cracked me up. It'll just randomly strike me when I'm thinking about something else. I'm really steamed about this. Oh, man. All right, so we got to save the farm. All right, all this is going to have to change. Oh, and even this, where it's located, has to change. Because this has to be in town Where's treasure? Wait a second. Where is treasure? What? Oh, it's under scene scripts. Oh, there's a treasure thing in here, right? Yeah. We got to put it there. Save as treasure room. Yeah, good. So this is scene scripts dot treasure. And then I cannot type that word. Oh my God. Treasure. For whatever reason, other than just now, I don't think I've ever typed this word on this keyboard. And by just now, I mean like the last week or so. Maybe I have once or twice, but I don't think treasure is a very common word to type. Twitch is Flanders. Stupid and sexy. All right. What are we doing for this? So I got to go pull up the other one. Treasure room. And delete this one. Got to run the UID tool before I forget that too. I guess let's write this over here. Run UID tool. All right. Lots of errors here. Yeah, I want to just delete some of this stuff, I guess. What do we need? Yeah, I don't know what we need. I guess let's just delete a bunch of these things. No, I'll prune this down in a sec. It's difficult to know how to approach this because we need the sign, the building, the NPC, the actual treasure chest and everything. And I kind of intertwined this as I was going here. So let's just keep trying to build this up little by little. So next up, we would need a sign here, and it's got to be the treasure sign, excuse me. Why is that not finding it? There it is. Treasure room sign. We put this right here for now. Okay. Then we find all the references to this. Initialize them all. Show farm sign. If the farm is null, then fade this in. Sure, I think that's pretty reasonable. Treasure room sign. They're adorably small. Yeah, that's actually more due to Valve's work that they've done. It's excellent engineering. They basically diff binaries and then only send you the diffs and then reconstruct whatever's needed on the client machine. That way the downloads remain small. And in a world where everyone had like gigabit internet, they might not do it that way. They might do it in terms of like, well, just download the whole game every time because it's faster to do that. But that's not the world we live in yet. So this is show all signs. I guess we're going to do this here too. Show treasure room sign. We don't have something here. Oh, there it is. Show all remaining signs. Why? I don't know about this. Maybe this should just be in the debug function for now. Yeah, maybe this should just be in the debug function. I'm not positive. Steam does it for you? Yeah. Now, with that said, if you do change your entire game, there's no getting around having a giant download for it. Steam can't do anything there, but yeah. Takes longer to binary diff patch than downloading a brand new 500 megabytes. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Anything else with the farm in here? Signs after beating the first boss. Signs the first boss just isn't that into you. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. All right, so now what? Now we need to have it so that you can actually build this thing. I think that's working, but I didn't look through any of this. Unlocked farm.invoke. We need to know probably that you got in the treasure room. I guess I'll just make a thing for this. Should I? I guess if we don't need it, I shouldn't do it yet. Yeah. So let's delete that one. Hide the treasure room sign. Clear ground for it. We don't have anything here. We don't have this stuff. And the rest of this I think is fine. All right, so now we need this. And we need the actual farm scene to be saved as the treasure room scene, which I did not actually build. Yeah. So we're going to save this under... Do we have a treasure room thing? Yes, nice. All right, so we call this treasure room. Oh, and then before I forget, the treasure room sign needs the right script. It does not have the right script. And now it does. And then the treasure room needs the right name and the right script. Cool. And then none of this would look like how it does. So let's... What do I want to do? I guess we could call this NPC for right now. Except for they probably have the farmer script. Yeah, sure. All right, let's just delete almost everything. Plots node. Yeah, so I don't want this to look like a farm. I guess let's just delete everything that we have here. Okay. But we need it to look like something for right now. So how about we just grab... kind of anything will work. Let's just do this for right now. Yeah, that's good enough. And then move this and move this. Whatever, we'll figure it out. All right, now I need this script to look good. We have a farmer here right now. What do we do with them? We got the farmer and then initialize them. Okay, we need something like that. So it's called NPC for right now. I guess we're calling them the treasure spirit, but they'll look like an NPC. So we're gonna how do we do this? What makes a farmer a farmer? Barely anything. Yeah, barely anything. All right, well, let's not worry about that yet. Let's call them the treasure spirit. And I'll just say to make this not a farmer. Hey, I use Arch Linux. I don't have any experience with that. Can't help out. All right, any other farmer intro things here? Save data. Yeah, we'll figure out save data later. To do save this. This probably doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. This needs to be made into the proper size. Open perks we're probably going to need. We need special perks for all the treasure room stuff. What is this about? Node containing various decorations. Oh, sure. Don't need that. Probably don't need any of this stuff. Nav layer. What was that used for? Oh. I don't think we need to do anything there. All right. We're making good progress. This is treasure spirit, and we're going to just call this treasure spirit. We don't need this. That's fine. That's fine. That's all probably fine. I kind of want a debug function for this. Debug spawn treasure, maybe? Something like that. All right, so we don't have a plant seeds. I guess we might need this. We don't need that or that. We eventually need this function. Code loading from a save file. Yeah, so our debug function is going to be debug something treasure, spawn treasure chest. Yeah, and I'll just say gd.print this should spawn a treasure chest. Yeah, because we don't actually have the functionality yet. You don't have any of this. You don't have any of that. None of that. Update tooltip is probably going to be needed. Let's get rid of all that for right now. Debug fill farm. Clear nav layer. All right, look at that. We got ourselves hopefully compilable code. It's not going to do anything. But we can try running it. I expect 2 errors. Just ballparking it. Oh, to 0. Okay, that's good. 0 is better than 2. All right, so we should have a sign up here. It says treasure room, allows you to find treasure chests and open them. It should probably say allows you to find and open treasure chests. Yeah, there. It's even more succinct that way. So we click build and now something happens. No, the something was nothing. Why did nothing happen? We should have seen this appear, right? Maybe it created it at the wrong location. How does this work? Yeah, it created it at the wrong location. So it's where the farm should be. Yep, there it is. Okay, yeah, this should be, what's it called? Treasure room sign. All right, let's try that now. So we fixed two little things there. In essence, we did have the 2 errors that I expected. They just weren't build time errors. They were runtime errors. So we build this. We should see the thing appear here. Interesting. It did not show on top of the land. I think because this land is different from the rest of the land. So it's up here. And is it height 2? Is that why? Height 3? No, it's not any of that. It's just the ground layer stuff. What? It should clear the land out from underneath it. Map fill? Or is it considered like height 4 or something? I just keep turning stuff off here. No, I don't see anything changing. Yeah. So it should just be this. Yeah, it is all those. And then some trees. I don't care about the trees right now. So why did this not work? We call clear ground for building treasure room. Clear ground for building takes in a building and gets its size based on tile maps and then clears everything it should clear. Huh. What is going on then? You say farm stuff, right? Yeah. And you do nothing right now. We should probably connect that. Where's the open perks button? I don't know where it is. Open perks. Magano, thanks for the sub. I don't think I've seen your name. I have not seen your name. Welcome in. Welcome in as both a sub and a viewer. And that's it. I shall stop calling you out if you do not wish to be called out. Although, can you stop the sharing of a initial subscription? You can stop sharing resubs. You don't have to announce those, but I don't know if you can bypass announcing a first-time sub. Okay, so yeah, where's opened perks use? Bulletin board on clicked. Treasure room has that. It's here, but what listens to this? Overlay visibility controller. Unlocked farm. Oh, we do need this then. Okay, well, like I said, we'll put it in once we know we need it, and now we know we need it. So we do unlocked treasure room. And we just go get where this is used from, which is going to be down here. Except for, I mean, up here. Let's move this line to where it belongs. Good. Gets suppressed if you're using Streamlabs. As a streamer, yeah, I could do that, but I wouldn't know what the will of the person subscribing would be. I guess what I'm trying to say is if you're a 5-month subscriber, you could just choose not to advertise it. But if you're a 0-month subscriber and you subscribe, you're forced to advertise it, I guess. Because I don't know if you can ever hide it from Twitch chat. Oh, Dio, thank you too. Welcome back. Thank you all for the subs. I appreciate it, Dio. Happy 2 and a third years. 2D game looking good. Added physics. Neat. It's called Chained. What's the game eventually going to be about? And hey, Becca. Okay, so what are we doing here? We seemingly set this up the way it should be set up. I'm not sure why this wouldn't render anything like this. And it's using this ground map that we have here. I don't see a problem. And it cleared something, right? Yeah, we see a blank green square. It just didn't clear all of the layers. Binding of Isaac style dungeon. Oh, nice. Yeah. All right, well, I guess let's look at what happened with the vault, because the vault is pretty similar to this. Create vault. Maybe this, what even, set up store? What does this? Show vault sign. Buildings no dot move. Hey, Kevin. ASD. I think Kevin's trying to play an FPS in chat right now. It could just be Z indexing. I'd be surprised. We have the whole clear ground for building thing and then rebake the navigation mesh. Huh. And that's what we're trying to do for the treasure room. It does this by seeking out the size of this thing, right? Yeah, get tile size in buildings, or in pixels. Maybe something here is messing up or something. Yeah. Doesn't surprise. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Doesn't allow you to suppress it. Yeah, it does not surprise me though. Plus, Twitch would want it to be announced probably in all cases. It's a monetization event. You want as much hype around that as possible. Well, all right, let's get back to the perks thing at least. So we'll put this stuff in. So town dot treasure room dot open perks, toggle treasure room perks visibility. And we don't even have a tab for this yet, but I know we're gonna eventually have a tab for it. So treasure perks. And do we correlate this to a thing? We do. All right, so we're gonna need to make one of those at some point. What's this? Treasure. Okay. All right, take care, Boomer. We need you to come up with different ranks in the milk gang eventually. And then we can nominate you the milkman. Oh. All right, so how do we put in perks here? UI toggle perks, etc. This stuff's all fine. Yeah, this I don't have anything for. All right, let's go figure it out. So this is in perks panel tab. Perks panel tab. And we now need treasure perks. So we get that. Treasure perks. Sure, that looks good. Enchanter. This can be a treasure perks. All right, so that doesn't exist. So we got to go add that in. Treasure perks. Yeah, nothing else needs to exist there. All right, let's just throw in one of the enchanter perks for now and call it treasure perks. Or treasure room perks? Treasure perks? Treasure perks. Sure, whatever. All right, has unlocked tree is going to be if the treasure room is not null. Everything else looks pretty much fine there. Any other issues we have with this? I know there's something else I have not filled in yet. Where is it? Some enumeration. Here it is. Yeah, so treasure perks. We plug this in. It should just know how to fix it. Come on, code. You know how to do this. Oh, whatever. I'll type it in myself. Set tab titles. Hey, player. New bone. We'll workshop more. Please do. Or else we're demoting you from milkman to one of the ear bones. Auditory ossicles. Yeah. All right, so wait, this is problematic right now because we need a comma in here. So we're going to do this. And I guess just put the comma here. Treasure perks. Get treasure perks tab title. Comes from here. We have somewhere else that this is done. These, I guess. Huh. How to convince Boomer not to leave. Assign him with a task of a joke task, actually. 3 minutes later, he'll still be here. Today I coded a dialogue system, then realized that the thing I imagined it being is so far out of scope, I need a looking glass to see the edge. Well, if you know you need a dialogue system and the thing you coded is out of scope, then it means you need something between nothing and the thing that needs a telescope to see the edge of it. In other words, reduce the scope. Or, you know what? You could actually probably have that mega scope, but just use a prepackaged thing. You might be able to find something in an asset store or an open source library and then get exactly what you need and not have to pay the major cost of writing it yourself. And if it's open source, all the better, because then you could modify it if you want to. Okay, so this stuff's looking good. Unlocked treasure room is show treasure perks. Any other thing that we have here? No, that's it. All right, does this run? We're putting this together. I do want to get to the point where we can open a treasure chest, hopefully by the end of this afternoon, because I think that'd be nice. All right, so we unlocked the treasure room. This thing is still broken, and then it's not even deleting the ground anymore. Oh, which probably means there's a problem here. Yeah, there's. Able to cast enchanter perks to treasure perks. What is trying to do that? Perks panel, tab, line 47. Because what? I didn't type this incorrectly? What? Oh, did I mess this up over here? Yes, I did. All right, put that there. I wrote the system already. It's more like putting all the instances into it and testing if they work properly. I see. Yeah, any very dialogue centric game, I think there are just a lot of branching actions or a lot of things to think about. What is that person saying? What kind of conditions need to be met? Does this make sense with the rest of the story or with what everyone else has said so far? And I don't think you can get around a lot of that. You're gonna have more than 40 lines of dialogue in your game, then there's just a lot of writing and planning to do. Okay, let's try it out again. I think we got closer to it now, but I still don't have a perks thing, and this doesn't work. Oh, you know what? Maybe I didn't connect it. Open perk. No, I did connect it. This is here. What's going on? Treasure room, open perks. Open perks is here. That's fine. And then something should be listing for this. It is. And then we do toggle visibility. Oh, you know what? Maybe I forgot to make it so that it looks like we unlocked this thing. No, we do unlock this thing. What? And this is being listened to by the perks thing, right? Yeah, show tab treasure perks. What could I possibly be missing? All right, I guess let's do this one more time. Have I missed anything? No. I don't know that. Kind of like Slay the Spire, but I'd like the characters to be able to respond to specific situations. No, it's probably still worth doing. Also, if you have a vision for the game, I think it's worth trying to realize that vision. There is some times where I think it's worth scrapping something just out of practicality. Like, oh, we could do it a little simpler like this, and it won't be my vision exactly. But I guess it all depends on what you find fun, how you want this game to go, how much would be lost by not coding that thing. All right, so I am totally in the dark about what's going wrong here. I wonder if we built the town hall, if that would kind of fix everything. It did. That's strange. So something about building the town hall caused all of this to work? Where does that happen? Town hall. Show toggle perks button? Seriously? Oh, well. Did not realize that. Okay, so that fixes our problem then. Well, that fixes one of our problems. We have another one. I still haven't figured out how the ground isn't getting cleared. And I gotta take a look at that. But now when we unlock the treasure room, we should at least see the perks button show up over here. So I click this, and there it is. Clicking it doesn't work. Why? Why? Update perks button affordability. There must be some other place in the game where we're doing this. On unlock building with perks, yeah. Okay, I don't like this. I don't feel like we should have to do this in 7 different places in the code, which generally means that I should refactor this stuff, but I don't think we have the time to be able to do that. All right, this actually still isn't working. What else am I missing here? Town menu, I put it there. I put it here. I put it here, and I put it here. What am I missing? Huh. When I build the enchanter, everything works fine, right? Enchanter, perks, yes, and yes. Then if I were to build the treasure room, it would work. But if I just build the treasure room first and nothing else, it doesn't let me open the perks thing. Yeah, strange. Okay, well, let's write down the couple of problems that we have right now. Problem, building just the treasure room doesn't let you look at the perks. And problem, we don't clear the ground correctly. You like that, Oppressal? You can now see your message right above my head. Hold up. I can see myself. Yeah. It's one of the changes someone suggested I make for when they're watching on YouTube or really anything later, which I should have done this years ago. I just didn't. And now I wonder if I should relay out the stream or something. Not many people go back and watch the VODs anyway. But still, it's nice to capture that stuff. These people know what I respond to. Kind of disturbing. What, really? I haven't been bothered by chat showing on stream when I watch other streamers. To each their own, for sure. I think it'd be nice to be able to see that. I guess because I'm so used to there being no distractions. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I should decrease the size or something. How big is it compared to the rest of the text on the screen? It's like the size of a line of code. Yeah. Yeah, I could potentially make it smaller. All right, so I still haven't figured out what's going wrong here. What's it trying to do? I guess let's just put a breakpoint on this open perks. So can I put a breakpoint there? I don't know if that's going to work. Oh, yes, that did work. Okay, so now we go into this. This goes to select tab, treasure perks. Selected tab equals tab. That should be fine. Yeah. Is there a set for this? There is, and it's if not, is tab hidden, then set the current tab. Okay, so let's hit play and do that exact same thing again. Because I want to see what happens when we try selecting that. It doesn't let me go into this? Seriously? Enum functions dot to value. Set the current tab as that. I don't see why that should fail. Unless there's some other like ID missing from here. Perks. I don't know what I've done wrong. Unless, did I mess something up over here? I couldn't have. Yeah, this looks fine. And it's just some random control. Uses blocks users in chat, so I'm not a fan of the on-screen chat, but I definitely don't think I should be catered to on this. Have you blocked people in this chat? Now probably exactly because of the change. It'll probably take some getting used to, and I probably should tweak it a bit. I didn't even know you could block other people's messages. Have I ever done that? I think I've only had to ban people from my stream. Yeah, I don't even see oh yeah, there's a block user thing, huh? Hey, can you help me with doing forms in Android Studio Java? No, sorry, Mariah. It's just not the stream for that. The chat on screen is new. Yeah, it's new. And I wonder if I should shrink it a little bit. I'll write this down for Tuesday afternoon. Shrink on-screen chat a bit. Make it less distracting. Okay. So let's see what happens when we unlock this thing. Because the tab must exist. There was something that when you unlock a certain building, yeah, here it is. There's show tab, but then there's, wait, there's one other spot though. It is show toggle perks button. And I did this. So the perks button is showing. We see that. What we don't see is clicking it doesn't do anything. I think that'd be funny, Matt, but I do want to keep the Chrome to a minimum. Toggle perks button not show. So we're pressing this and nothing's happening. Pressed perks button, hide buildings menu, and on toggle perks dot invoke. Okay, so that brings us over to here. Toggle perks visibility. So this should be getting called. So if I press this button, it should break in. Yep, perfect. But then this isn't doing what it should be doing. We try opening it to a specific tab. We don't try opening it to a specific tab. Nothing's actually calling this toggle tab visibility. Why? I just don't understand that. If visible and the selected tab is equal to this tab. I mean, I guess if we put a breakpoint there. Oh, I see. We need to restart this. This should not be a hard problem. And I'm curious what I messed up here. All right, so selected tab is Adventures panel. And we're going to go to the perks panel. So we're going to call open on this. All tabs hidden is false. So if the tab is not the battle panel, set visible to true. Yeah, so we set visible. Oh, what? What happened there? Oh, okay. Only open the panel if you were able to select the tab. It wasn't hidden. That way, using the shortcut for a tab will not open the panel unless that tab is unlocked. It should be unlocked. So we try setting this. Selected tab is set to perks. So we make this thing visible. But then it should just be on screen. It is now. Wow. What what did I change? What did I do that caused this to work all of a sudden? I didn't do anything. Maybe I forgot to save a file? That's the only thing I could think, is that I've been debugging nothing this whole time. Oh, man. Okay, well, at least it's working. But that's kind of a shame. Let me take a look at this again. So I just build this and I can just click the perks thing and it works. Yeah, wow. Well, all right. I don't know. I don't know what I was doing before this. I thought there was a bug. Okay, well, we're done with that. We don't clear the ground correctly. This I still haven't figured out. We clearly have like a blank green space here, but we're not showing our building correctly on top of that. I didn't mean to open FL Studio right there. Treasure room had, let me just close that. Oh, it closed itself? No, I tried downloading a thing. All right, whatever. It can just stay open. I don't care. Yeah, so this looks correct. It's just some ground. That's totally fine. Its z-index is set to be relative. And its y sorting is enabled. Maybe this isn't showing on top of the environment because of z-indexing? Z-index is -1 for this. Ooh. Oh, man. Sudden coughing fit. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe the farm does something different. They all get added into the buildings node, so that part shouldn't matter. And I think I saved this based on the farm anyway. I wonder if we just tried building the farm up where the other signpost is. That would probably help us tell if something's broken here completely. Hey, Ramy. Because I don't think anything was done over here. Yeah, no, nothing was done over here. All right, let's try this out. So let's go to the town, create farm. And we're going to try positioning this thing where the treasure room sign is. Yeah, let's try that. Chat is showing on stream. That's correct. Yeah, it's for posterity's sake. Anytime you watch a VOD now, you'll be able to see it. Okay. This is shining some light on what might be broken. I still am not totally sure what's going on. There must be some difference then between this that we see here and this that we see up here. And I need to figure that out. Hey, Rima. How goes it? I was just telling my wife the other day, I'm like, I miss the days when Rima would stream. I'd just hang out there, get my stuff done. Gonna try to inflict as much guilt as possible. Come back. Been super busy today, didn't even realize. What were you busy doing? Was it all just work stuff? Okay, so yeah. So what we've come to the conclusion is that something is wrong probably with this environment. And I don't know what yet. So how about this? Let's just cut out some nodes. So that's needed. That's needed. There's some trees as well. I guess that's probably needed. That one may not matter. That I can't actually tell. And some trees. Okay, so that brings us down to just solid green. Is it solid green up here too? It is. What is the difference? Oh, it's because it's Y sorted as an environment? Oh my goodness, I think that might be it. Oh, that's incredibly tricky. So how do we even confirm that? Wait, but how would that even make sense? The environment is getting Y sorted with the is Y sorting turned on here? It is. Oh. So then yes, that's probably the problem. We have the environment node right here. So if you're above this, then it won't work correctly. And if you're below it, it will work correctly. So then how did the vault work? How does any of this make sense? I have an idea. So if we run this from Godot, we can find out. But yeah, this is incredibly tricky. And if you didn't know about this feature and you didn't know how this particular world is laid out, I don't think you'd be able to come to this conclusion, assuming I'm even correct, which we're about to verify. So I'm going to build this here. I'm going to take Godot off screen. And then what I'm going to do is find that node. So that is called the treasure room. And we're just going to move this down in the world until maybe it becomes visible. There's probably a faster way to do this, but I'm just going to keep holding this key down until it happens. And if it does just pop into view, it'll be in like 10 seconds, less than 10 seconds. Yeah, nice. Okay, yep, that's a problem. Wow. Yeah, so check this out. The difference between this and this is just whether or not this thing is getting Y sorted out. Wow. Well, we got to figure out a solution to this problem. It's getting Y sorted out because it's above the Y equals 0 point. Oh, what do we do about that? The Y sort, the Hawaii sort. Because I don't remember why we turned this on to begin with. Well, I guess we only have a couple of options. We either turn off Y sorting for the town, which I assume we can't do, but I don't know why yet. Or we change the Z index of the treasure room or of the environment. Those are really the only solutions we can do. So yeah, why was Y sorting on for the town? How do we answer that question? The town itself has it on. Okay, so I guess here's what we do. We go to GitHub. We type in town.tscn. We blame this file. And we find where Y sort is enabled. Is it hyphenated? Is it underscore? Oh God, what is it called? How do you find this? It's called Y underscore sort underscore enable. Y sort. That's not showing up though. What? How? Oh, because it's townscene.tscn. Y sort. Yeah, there it is. Okay, I will never like this naming ever, 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 ever. I wish we didn't have that. Wait, items. It's in the root node that we do this. So it's this right here, farming follow-up. Huh, that's right here. Originally just wanted to move the extractor and the chef's line, but doing so made it obvious that the Z indexes would need to be changed. That wasn't so simple. We needed to enable proper Y sorting. Ground layers have Z index of -1. Special foreground objects like flying items have Z index of 1. Almost everything else is at 0. Did I write that? It feels like something I wrote. Yeah, there's something I wrote. Okay, what if we turn it off for the town? Y sort enabled off? Okay, I already see some tiny problems here, like this collision box changes, which I'm assuming causes bigger problems at some point. Let's just turn it off and just see what happens. I don't know what's gonna happen for this. So we build the farm, what happens? Can we see items going onto these things correctly? Yeah. I guess we just need to build everything. Huh. Huh, indeed. Gonna need some more workers. Okay, so if well, I guess we could have just done this anyway. If I do this, are there any weird issues with, yes, there are. Okay, so workers are showing up on top of this. And I guess it's not super obvious, but it could be super obvious if we do this and turn this off and then turn it back on, and now they're all going to walk in front of it. Yeah, so like you can see the skeletons are showing up on top of the item extractor, for example, and that shouldn't happen. So that's why we need Y index on, or Y sorting on. I guess so. Try to write that down. Y sorting is enabled here so that NPCs like workers show up behind the extractor, and probably many more scenarios. But yeah, if you just turn off that and nothing else, then you'd see workers show up on top of this, which will probably cause a lot of other issues. So then the problem that we have is that the environment is being considered for this at all. Man. There is another solution we could apply here, which is to just have the origin of the environment be all the way at the upper left. I don't know if that would cause a problem, but I think it probably would. Yeah, because this is positioned here. We have no way of changing the offset. We just need to relocate every single node under this. It really is Y sort. Working on UI bugs has to be annoying. I think I've kind of mentioned this in the past. I think any realm of software development is palatable for different people in different amounts. So UI bugs in particular are not really necessarily worse than like a backend bug or of whatever tooling bug. It all depends on how much you have a tolerance for it, how much you even want to work on bug fixes in particular. I don't mind doing something like this right now because I don't think this is going to take forever to figure out. And I could just apply a solution really quickly here. What we could do is we could just move the entire world like that and then move every single node back by however much I just moved this by. And we wouldn't have this problem anymore. And that is a solution. We could do that. Should we do that? That I don't know. But I don't know why anything should ever appear beneath the environment. That seems like a problem to me. Now, with that said, all of these things should probably have their ordering set, so that's not even possible. This is -1. This is 0. Okay, so it's the fill that's breaking this? Let me build this. Yeah, I think it's just the fill node that's breaking this. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the fill off. Okay, it's the fill and the fill background. Oh, I guess it's not just that. It's also these little plants that are showing up here, huh? What is that considered? What is that considered? Oh, there it is. Flat grass. That's at -1. How is this even overlapping with this? This shouldn't be possible. I don't get it. Ground over here. Oh, this also has an ordering of -1. Well, well, well. If we just set this to 0, there wouldn't be any problem, I guess. Oh, well then why don't we just do that? Why did the farm have a -1 thing set then? Oh my god, I think because the farm had a different layout altogether. Oh, maybe I'm just a dummy. Okay, no, I'm not just a dummy. But this probably should have had a z index of 1 or 0. Then what is it set to? It's -1. There is a very tiny difference here between 0 and -1. But it's very hard to tell what that thing is. What is that? I think it's like a bush. Hey, McGraw. Is Y sorting actually changing the draw order? Or can you take advantage of GPU depth buffer and test? Use Y coordinate for depth. I think it is changing the draw order. Well, I know that something is changing the draw order. I'm not sure if you're asking, is this done via like a pseudo 3D thing? I don't know how it's implemented exactly. Have I ever done an IQ test? Maybe. I don't know. Hmm. Hmm. All right, what do I do as a solution here? So we could just bump this up by 1. We set this to 0 and then close out of these things, I guess. And then just restart this. It should probably look fine. How could my answer to have you ever done an IQ test be I don't know and then me tell you my IQ? wouldn't if I would have to say yes to the first question to be able to answer the second one. All right. So that's all I wanted for right now, is this thing to look good. And it does look good now. And we have an NPC that doesn't answer you correctly, and then this with a fake perk. Yeah. So we can fix this by just setting the Z index of the ground of the treasure room to 0. That might mess everything else up, though. It's not messing up the NPC, I suppose. Although, what's the NPC set to? Relative 0. I guess it's Y sorted, so this is never going to be a problem. Would it be if this were up here? It would. Oh my god. Okay, yeah. That's why we need this to be -1. Okay, then never mind. This is probably going to be a mistake. Hey, Manakis. Hey, Lemon Drop. Then NPCs and workers / whatever will show up beneath the ground if they're high enough up. Was it web dev or was it game dev? I mean, I started with just like development, I'd say, but it very quickly turned into game dev. I feel like in the last 6 months, a common theme has been, is this Y sorted? Well, we didn't even really have Y sorting stuff for a long time. I think it wasn't until this commit, which was, where's the date? March 31st. And now I got to figure out how we're going to do this so this isn't super problematic everywhere. I think we need to set this to -1, which is then going to break this. And then I think we need the environment's origin to never be considered in any of this stuff. So we need to be like way, way far away from where it is now. So maybe let's do that. I got the receipts. You trying to run a fast one? Pull a fast one on me. Okay, so how do we do this? We have to move every single one of these nodes by an equal amount to how we move the parent node. Right? So could we just add in a new node as an intermediate thing? Can I just call this like Y sort position offset and put everything beneath it in there? So far, yes. Then we move this by a ton. So we put that like there. Actually, I should probably just figure out where it should be. It should be like there-ish. The negative, well, like 750, -1100. Yeah, something like that. And then all we do is we copy this and we put it here and make it negative. So this times -1. And then same thing with this. This times -1. I know we can just remove the minus sign. It's just easier for me to not press home and delete. All right, and then we say that it's done. No, that won't work at all. Maybe it will. I don't know. How's that look in the game? I don't think this did anything. I don't know how that would have broken something. Oh, because the paths would have changed and we're not using access as unique name. Yes, I mean, it does look like what's happening. Oh boy, base ground fill only. Yeah, this shouldn't be this way. Base ground fill only. Oh, even this doesn't make sense. Okay, so town node. I hope that works. Hey, Cerise, what engine is that? This is Godot engine. Welcome in. All right, this is going to happen with all these, aren't they? Yeah. All right. I'm not even positive this is going to fix everything. It's just navigation now. Navigation is there. Any others where we did this? Seemingly no. Why do we even get this thing? Okay, sure, that makes sense. All right, let's try it out. I saw a get singleton error. What do you do to manage singletons? You use the DI library. We don't have singletons. That was, I think, coming from Godot itself. Is there a get singleton in here? Singleton. Wait, whoops, I pasted that in the wrong spot. Wait, where did you see that? Yeah, I don't know where that would have been. It might have been in, not sure it was in red. Yeah, if it was in red, it was almost certainly a Godot thing, but I don't, huh. It might have been one of these. No, I don't see anything. Yeah, I'm not sure where that was. But yeah, it would have been a Godot thing if you saw it. This is still breaking. I gotta run this again. And then we just need to immediately quit out of this. So now it's saying base ground can't be found. This might be because there's a space in there. I'm not actually sure what you're supposed to do. Underneath town, underneath navigation. So what happened here? We used to get this underneath the environment. I mean, we could just get this from the environment node. Although I suspect this is going to be insufficient. Why do we even get this here? This probably shouldn't be here. Get tile map bounds? Is it just for the camera? Camera.init with this. Yeah, I don't think this should be there. What about this other one? Navigation layer. This might be needed for something. Turn off collision. What is this? I'm creating the fishing pond. I guess we can ask the environment to do that. Make nav tiles visible. Yeah, this should probably be encapsulated in the environment code. I guess I'll write this down as cleanup for the future. The town saves navigation layer and something else. Navigation layer. And base tile map layer. Rather than relying on environment to encapsulate whatever they're doing. Cat's meowing. Did it work? Did it work? Did it work? No. Did it build it anywhere? I don't see it if it did. Huh. Hey, Atreus. That's pretty good. Yeah, so the question is, where is this thing even trying to show up? I guess right on where the sign is. Maybe I should just run it from here. I don't like it. I don't like it. All right, so where does it think this thing is? Let's try to find it. So in the remote scene tree, if we go to treasure room, it thinks the treasure room is at -3, -252. Does that mean it's like way out of bounds? What is that? Oh, that's coming from Godot. Okay, let's just set it to 500, 500. Whoa, wait a second. Hang on. Wherever it was exactly where it should have been. What'd I say? -2, -252. Yeah, because we can see the NPC. We just can't see the ground. The ground doesn't even exist now. Oh, it just doesn't have the word treasure in it. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Oh, man. Give me a sec. I'm trying to navigate to this thing. Buildings, treasure room, ground. Here it is. All right, so if I set the Z index up to 0, yeah, there, it's showing. It's showing with a bunch of plants on it. I don't, oh, the plants are already there. So what does this mean? That this is still above the origin? I guess it's above the origin of... That's... I don't understand. If I move this down to 1, it's visible now. And if I move it up a little bit, it's not. So there is no tricking it with whatever stupid offset thing I just tried to do. It's always still going to be that same 0, 0 point there. Hmm. What do we do about that? Right now it's not visible. If I just raise this. Okay, so I can make this lower and this will work. Huh. All right, I am not totally sure what conclusion to draw from this. Hey, processor chaos. Yeah, I'm not really sure what to do here. I thought I could just change the environment origin, but I can't do that. I can't accomplish that by adding an intermediate node. I guess I gotta bump to everything down without the intermediate node. Am I overcomplicating this? Should we just have the concept of the environment is always at like a -2 Z index? Probably. I don't see why that would be problematic. Yeah. Okay, we should probably try that before I go doing other crazy stuff here. Can we just make the environment have a Z index of -2? That way its origin never comes into play. So we stop this and we find everything. Can we just favorite this property? Favorite. There. So now we can see it no matter what. So -1, 0, 0. How many are 0? There are 2 so far. Oh, more? Why more? Why? Why is it here? It's roughly half and half. Well, what if we just subtract them all by 1? The usual answer is yes. Yeah, I'm hoping I can do what I want to do here. Surely this will have no repercussions. I don't know if it will, but there are only 15 of these things, so check out what we can do. We can just select every single one of them and do -1. And then that. And now every Z index that we have is either broken. What did I do? What have I done? Where are all the Z indexes that were set to 0 originally? Can I copy these? Yeah, I can't copy these. Z index equals 0. There are none of them. Wait a second. Why did the editor show them then? Reload. It's -2. Yeah, these are showing as 0 for some reason. Oh, they're relative though. Oh, 0 is the default value, which is why they don't need to show up. And since they're relative, they're actually going to be 0 above -2, which is -2. So then, are all of these just -2 now? Yes. Okay. I think we're still going to have a problem. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're still going to have a problem. Let's try building this. Okay, this is a different kind of messed up now. Why are those showing up? What are you doing, bushes? And which ones even are the bushes? These. Oh, this has a... No, this is the index relative to... Oh, there is no relative. Yeah, the parent doesn't have one set. We need to set this to -2 or -1 or something. Just a bit overgrown. All right, I thought that would have fixed the problem. Let's try it again. All right, what's going on? Why do I not understand this? These are at a relative z-index of 0 above the parent, which has a relative z-index of 0 above the parent, which is a relative z-index of -1. So the only way this couldn't be still -1 is if it was overridden over here to be something else. It is not. It is -1. What is happening then? Oh, because the... Okay, I understand. Yeah, I understand. The ground of the treasure room is also set to -1. Now it's fixed. Okay, but the question is, did we truly fix it? So here's what I gotta do. We gotta get dangling workers. Are you ready? So I had some code that let me do this a while ago. We gotta go into process here and we gotta find the first worker. So node 2D first worker equals get workers dot first or default. They should already be node 2Ds. No, they're just nodes. Okay, that's fine. I'll still just convert it. Node 2D. We know that they're node 2Ds anyway. All right, converting null. We know that it's not null. Well, if it is null, then I guess we just don't do anything. If first worker is not null, then we set its position. Global position equals mouse position. Yeah, let's see if that works. So all we're doing is we're trying to attach a worker to the mouse. And anytime you move the mouse, you can then see the worker where the mouse is. So first of all, is that working? It's off by a little bit. I'm not really sure why. That means I'm using the wrong position. Gotta be like the camera's position. There's some way to do this. I never remember what it is. And this is why I always wanted to save this line of code somewhere. But I always think, oh, I can just come up with it again. And yeah, probably in the next 5 minutes, I will come up with it again. Oh, nice. We did. All right. Well, that wasn't so bad. Okay. So yeah, let's see. The worker should go behind the lamppost. So yes, that is problematic. And that's our issue we're going to have with everything, right? They'll go behind this and they'll go in front of it here. So by the way, this is why Y sorting is so important. Like this is convincing. They're walking in front of it. We put it back here and now they're walking behind it. Again, convincing. But that same thing is not happening with trees. It's not happening with lampposts. It's probably happening with item displays. Yeah, it's happening with item displays. They're in front of it. They're behind it. Shouldn't those be handled with Y sort? Yeah, it is handled by Y sort, but their Y sorting all takes place only on things in the same Z index. So we need these to be on the same Z index as the workers, but we need the ground to be beneath them. Hey, Brainoid. How's it going? Any fun updates? All right, so we need the ground to have the lowest Z index and never show above workers. So I think that's all we really need to do here. Maybe I should just delete everything I had done. Where's environment? Okay, let's maybe revert all of this. Yeah. So ground is like -1, objects are z index 0, and then Y sorting kicks in. So Y sorting is for all elements in the same z index. So you could have many layers with their own Y sorting. So at z index 1 or 0, let's say, maybe you have like workers and lamps. And yeah, these things will get Y sorted correctly. At z index -1, maybe you have, I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what, bushes and like, I don't know, cats or something. Received a contract from a publisher, sent to my lawyer, waiting for an answer from the lawyer. Is it fun enough? That is fun. Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious how the publishing route will go for you. I always wonder if you take a successful game that was published by someone, by like a company, went back in time, self-published it, would it be successful? A relative checkbox is relative to parent node. That's for z-index. So there are two things at play here. There's z-index and there's Y sorting. Again, Y sorting is only on things with the same z-index. Z-index has a relative checkbox that you can check. So what that's saying is, let's say you have a z-index of 5 and not relative, it will be 5. Let's say you have a z-index of like 10 and relative, it will be 10 plus the parent z-index. So that's what that's doing. At some point in the game, you can collapse all of the relative z-indexes to absolute ones. So you'll know at some point, like, oh yeah, my items are 7 and my tooltips are 10 and whatever else. And then Y sorting takes place on those absolute z-index planes. Anyway, the reason I've been thinking about this is because I'm in this position right now where I'm wondering, what would a publisher even really do? And there's a combination of like marketing, translation, maybe. Beyond that, I guess they could like steer game features or prioritization or help with other resourcing, maybe. But yeah, for me specifically, like, marketing would help, translation would help. Do I need an outside entity to do that stuff? What would Skeleseller reach if it had a publisher? Marketing mostly. Yeah, and then I wonder, like, would it just be better to hire a marketing firm? Like pay $10,000 or something and they handle your marketing, but they don't get a cut of your revenue or anything. I didn't ask for funding. Yeah. I mean, your game's already like super well underway, if not close to done. Okay, so I did a couple of things over here that now I need to go like redo. One is to make this, and then, ooh, did I just move something? One is to do that and that. And then we want to set the right z-indexes. So if the environment is 0, anything that should always be beneath other stuff should be at -2. Yeah. Okay, can I just favorite this too? Yeah, there we go. All right, so yeah, everything that should be under everything else is at -2, -2. This definitely, yep, this is considered ground. Scatter objects are questionable. I don't know where these should be. Maybe -1. Scatter object overlaid. What even are these? These are fences. I guess you would show behind fences, so those could be 0. Height 1, what is that? This is not even coming into play yet, so I guess none of this really matters. So we can set this to whatever, it doesn't matter. Any of this, none of this matters. And then we finally get to navigation, that's invisible by default. Harvestables are never walkable really, but yeah, we can set those to 0. World objects, are trees and lamps. Yeah, those are 0. And then what is map fill trees? These are things that shouldn't matter either. Okay, so I think this will work. Let's go try it out. Hey, Goose. Sounds like relative Z indexes can bite you if not careful. All of the Z stuff can bite you if you're not careful, for sure. Yeah. Okay, so let's take a look. This shows behind this tree, and now it should show in front of the tree. Perfect. That's all working. Same thing with signposts. Looks good. Item displays. Yep. That's all fine. This is going to be a little bit weird because characters should never walk in this area, so it's not convincing. But that's okay. Lamp posts I tested with, right? Yep. All right, and then what happens when we build this? Yeehaw! We did it. We did it. All right, that took a long time. Yeah, so my conclusion when it comes to Y sorting, and I should probably write this down. Godot engine? Did I write it here? Y sorting? Y sorting, here it is. For top-down 2D games, you may want to enable Y sorting, which will change the rendering order of objects based on their Y coordinate. This is better than using Z index, assuming that you want, say, a character to conditionally show in front of or behind another object. For a picture example, see this. For example, in the picture below, you can see the tree in the middle is both behind one worker and in front of another. You couldn't achieve that. Well, you could achieve that with Z index. I'll just leave it like that. All right, if it doesn't look like it's working, nodes can still be Y sorted anywhere in the scene tree, but their common ancestors need Y sorting enabled. In general, you want Y sorting enabled on the container of all of your nodes to be Y sorted, not the nodes themselves. The origin points of the nodes are not where you would expect. The Z index of two of the nodes of the two nodes of the two nodes may be different. Y sorting is only considered when the Z indexes are the same. Using a tile map and instead of Y sorting on the tile map layer correctly. Yep, perhaps you just need a collision on the objects to stop them from overlapping. Okay, so that's all correct, but yeah, another tip. You should put, how do I say this? Put differently, make sure objects that should be Y sorted have the same Z index. I ran into a problem with Skeleseller where the ground tile maps were on, how do I say this? Oh, I don't know how to say this. It's not really like this is. All right, how about this? Let's just write out this sentence and then figure out where it should go. I ran into a problem with Skeleseller where the massive world environment tile maps were all on Z index 0 or -1, so that they would show beneath any characters walking on the ground. But then you could build on top of that environment. However, Y sorting was needed. Y sorting caused the buildings to show underneath, like the buildings ground to show underneath the environment. The solution was to lower the world environment's Z index by 1, since it should never show on top of anything else. Environment's ground was add z index equals -1. What? V index equals -1, so that it would show beneath any characters walking on the ground. However, players could then build on top of the environment's ground. However, Y sorting caused the building's ground to show underneath the environment's ground. The solution was to lower the world environment's Z index by 1. Whatever. All right, well, we fixed the problem, and we did so in a much less complicated way. And I don't see any problems now with workers. Like, they look like they're showing on top of all the stuff they should be showing on top of. This is not worth even testing here. Hey, Malcolm. Want to chime in on the marketing aspect since it's my background? Agency beats publisher in your current state of development, but you're honestly set up to have an in-house marketing strategy work out with nearly the same results. Well, thanks for chiming in, number one. Number two, if you have any recommendations on how I can make the in-house stuff work better, I'm all ears. I had some people suggest different things, and I think I need my handheld just a tiny bit, but not to the point where you'd feel like you're doing a second job. So, as an example, Brainoid Games in chat is working on a game called Replicat, which, by the way, people should check out if they're at all interested in like a Balatro-like game heavily featuring cats. I will link it in chat. But yeah, so Brainoid said, hey, have you done any marketing outreach? And I was like, no, and I didn't really know how to reach out to YouTubers. And he basically laid out a way for me to contact people. And that was it. It was like a few sentences probably, but it helped massively. And I attribute a lot of the success of Skeleseller to that kickstart. So there are probably other blind spots that I have. And like my current marketing plan, and I don't know how long you've been lurking for, Malcolm, but I talked about this morning, like what's the plan for this week? And this week's plan is reach out to 18 more YouTubers. The normal number is 15. And since I'm not doing anything else this week, I just raised it by a bit. So the number is sort of arbitrary, but like, that's it. That's my plan. And maybe that works. Maybe that doesn't work. I've gotten a bunch of YouTubers to cover it now, and it's been helpful. But at some point, the YouTube well is probably going to dry up a bit. I probably need to engage other platforms, and I just don't have much of a plan for that. So yeah, anyway, thank you for lurking, thank you for watching, and thank you for chiming in. All right, so we've done all this stuff now, right? And we built this, but it doesn't actually do anything, and we don't have treasure chests, and it's 2:30. Because I spent so long on Z-Index stuff. Oh, man. All right. Well, let's check in what I've done, I suppose. Town scene, how did this change? There's now a sign. There's a note about it. There's a sign thing used there. Yep, that's all fine. Key storage sign. Why did this change? It's got a UID. I don't know why that showed up. These are things I don't like about the Godot UID system. Utilize your platforms and community heavily. And yes, utilize streamers and YouTubers. The fact that you stream and have a community on Discord and elsewhere gives you nearly the same leg to stand on as most agencies. So this is, I appreciate that, but this is where I think I need the hand holding a little bit more. Like, what do you recommend? Because in the past, trying to like mobilize the community has been a little bit difficult since I've never done that before. So it's like the one time, I think I've done pretty much one sponsorship on the entire stream in like the decade I've been streaming. I think I did one sponsorship, and I think it went terribly because I just did the one. That was it. My community isn't used to me saying, hey, you should check this thing out, and then actually go check that thing out. That just didn't happen. So we got like a pitiful number of signups, I think. I felt really bad for a long time about that. So now I'm in the case where it's almost like that same thing. Like I need to sponsor myself almost. And I'm like, how do I go about doing that? And we fixed a difficult bug. Flair, that is exactly the mentality you need to have in these cases. And I appreciate you saying that. Because yeah, that's the bricklaying mentality. We did a thing that needed to be done, And I would have bumped into this at some point, and I would have needed to solve it. All right, so I do need to look through all this stuff carefully because this is like this, for example. This is just a problem. So fix incorrect constant. Yeah. All right, that's looking good. This is good. So this should not be here, but this is very helpful code to have at some point. Consider filing this helpful code somewhere. Actually, you know what? I'll just write it in my notes right now. Okay, helpful tip. You can easily test whether your Y sorting is working correctly and looks convincing by using code like this to position something at your mouse. Then you just move your mouse in front of or behind trees, lamps, etc. All right, the code looks like this. So it's basically like node, I don't know, some entity you want to move equals get node 2D. Yeah, some entity you want to move. And then just set it. And the camera you could technically fetch by getting it from the scene tree, I think. Get tree.camera. Get root.camera. Get camera 2D. Yeah, there we go. All right, so we want to put that into wherever those notes I was typing went. And then all of that goes into process. Just writing on a bunch of trash here right now. All right, there. Now we do one of these. And write that in here. Okay. So some entity you want to move, get that entity, and then just set its global position equal to the camera's position. The list of tasks that need doing isn't longer at the end of the day than it was at the start. Something's gone wrong. Every once in a while, it gets lower. Actually, that was another reason I was feeling overwhelmed recently. I know I'd been saying about all the stuff about how I've been so busy and everything, but my personal to-do list was up to, I think, 257 lines. So I spent a lot of yesterday just kind of filing all the notes that I'd filed, deleting old things, doing some of the other things. And I think I got it down to like 150, which is pretty good. That's like 40% of my to-do list just gone in one day. I told my wife and she's like, that means that your to-do list is probably meaningless. I said, no. I said, some of these things are notes that I had to file. Window, thanks for the resub. And happy third of a year. She could have been nice. Yeah. Am too. I keep just pushing things back and back. Honestly, I think there is an art to staying organized with a to-do list. I think when you find yourself in this case, it either means just drop the item altogether or schedule it for a later date. So as an example, I got a notification. So let's just contrive a scenario. You get a notification saying, hey, you're running Node.js in the cloud, and we aren't going to support whatever, version X as of date Y. So this now represents a task that you have to do, and you even have a deadline, or you could just forego your service in the cloud, but you probably don't want to do it now. You could always just say like, you know what, 3 months from now, just email me about this. And you might still not want to do it then either, but at least you're closer to the deadline and then the pressure's on you a little bit more. So yeah, every once in a while, I'll just schedule something for like a year from now. And I'll be like, huh, is this thing in my life going the way I expected it to? Because I think having persistent things on your to-do list is not a great idea. Okay, so this is something that needs to be deleted at some point. I'll just write this here. To do, get rid of the enchanter perk below. This is just to put, oh yeah, this is just a placeholder. I think it's fine. Yeah. Mobilize them as a street team. Set the example as much as your internal team. I know it's independent, so it depends on participation. TikTok, X, Reddit for top of funnel. All right, gotcha. Yeah, thank you, Malcolm. No, that's fine. And by the way, if you want to post on Discord or DM me or something, by the way, this is all assuming you want to help any more than you already have. I would appreciate it. And otherwise, I'll write this down and I will consider this for next week's marketing plan. Where's my marketing plan thing? Oh yeah, next week. Yeah. Yeah, thanks. And I'll give you a point for even just chiming in here. Because I'm willing to do the work. I'm just not necessarily willing to do the sort of like A/B testing and the research into what works here. Because I don't think I can build up that expertise in, let's say, like 80 hours. I think that would take a lot longer. And even this topic came up the other day. I was talking about this, that when you're emailing YouTubers, like, let me just contrive a thing. Let's say you should probably include a Steam link to your game, right? But like, should you include your Twitch stream? Or let me phrase it this way. Should I include my Twitch stream since I'm a streamer? And whether you think yes or no doesn't really matter. There's an answer that you could empirically test. You have 1,000 people you email and you include it in 500 and you don't include it in 500, and then you see which set did better. And you try to adjust for any other variables you might have, and maybe 1,000 is a big enough number. But anyway, let's say you somehow had a big enough sample size here. You could probably tell one of these is a better option than the other. Maybe you could even come up with other conclusions like, well, based on the YouTuber, it's a yes in this scenario and it's not a yes in this scenario. But I will probably never have emailed enough YouTubers to know that. And you don't get that feedback when someone opens your email or plays your game. Even if you know for sure they went and played your game, you can't know it was because you included a Twitch link. So there are a lot of little things that I'll just kind of never know, and I'm not going to study like human psychology for marketing to the level where I'd be able to tell for this. So I need that knowledge some other way, which comes in the form of hand holding. So I want us all to join hands right now. I mean, Discord, just a quiet person. Okay, yeah. And like I said, feel free to DM me, or if you want to share it with everybody, that's also fine. I usually ask that when people ask me questions, to ask them in public if they can be asked in public, so that everyone can benefit from them. And I guess the same thing goes for giving me advice if you're okay with everyone seeing it. But I'm totally fine with the DM. And I'm also fine with you not doing anything further too. I'm not saying, hey, go do your job in your free time now for me for free. I'm merely saying that if you did, it would be greatly appreciated. Okay. Yeah, so here's the treasure room. We do not have all of this stuff set up correctly yet. Yeah, what do we still need here? Yeah, a lot of this stuff. Oh, hey, you can right click something. What do you right click? This? Do you right click? Oh, the bulletin board. And then it should print out that it'll spawn an item. So I click this. Yep. Cool. Anything else? Looks like no. All right. So add treasure room in perhaps the most boring commit of all time. This nominally adds a treasure room, which does nothing. There is no treasure. There are no perks. And the NPC doesn't tell you anything about the treasure room. However, all of the foundation is there to now be able to add these things. Such a stupid commit. It's needed. We have to do this. Oh yeah, I also fixed the Y sorting stuff. I fixed the Y sorting problem that we had in this commit though. Before this, if you tried building something, say the farm north of the warehouse, the ground wouldn't show for the farm. This is because the environment's origin is like roughly to the left of the warehouse. So placing the farm above it would Y sort the ground lower than the environment. I lowered the Z index of the environment's ground since workers can never show beneath it. And that fixed our problem. Good. Best attempt is a clear call to action and minimize clicks. The more clicks, links, etc., usually turns to lower conversions. That's why clear, concise Steam pages convert better than excessively long ones. Yeah. Yeah, I've grown as a marketer, but not greatly. But back in the Botland days, I think there were more like appeals to emotion almost, and not just like here's the game, here's why it's fun. Like I've started doing this, and I've tried to cut down the length of these emails too. I think that stuff is working probably as well as it could be. There is one thing I'm not doing right now. I'm not following up. I don't know how much I want to do that. It kind of bugs me when people send me like a form email and then send me a form follow-up and a form follow-up and so on and so forth. So I wonder if maybe an even more personalized follow-up, like, hey, it's been, X amount of time. Have you taken a look? Are you interested? Nice M2. Yeah. Yeah, and the layout is important for this stuff. All right, so this problem is finished. So the building should have some special item displays. I should take another break. And then what time is it? It's almost 3 o'clock. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get to the level I wanted to get done with today, which is fine. We'll keep working on this the rest of the week. But let's we're done with this, I guess. No. What am I doing? I'm doing work. I said I'd take a break. Let me take a break. And then when I come back, we'll keep working on this. Is it jump time? It's jump time. I haven't done an intro for this yet today. So if you're in Twitch chat, you can just type join, no exclamation mark, and then J and a number. Have fun. Take care, Flair. I'll be back in a bit. Good job, Zico. You won. Close the game. I said close the game. Sweet. Easy game. All right, so building has 4 special item displays. Make a new scene inherit from item display that uses the enchanter tables and can only hold chests. Do we have anything inherit from item display right now? Like, I wonder how hard this is going to be to do. Because this might take the rest of the stream. I don't think so. I don't think so. Well, the only difference between this and the thing I plan on making is the sprite and maybe these localized strings. That item display doesn't accept that type of item. An item is currently traveling to that display. That item display already has an item. We might not want to say that item display. Maybe we want to be like that treasure chest slot or opener or something. So I guess it could just be an item display. Except for... Okay, let me think about this. So we make a new scene. Inherit from item display. Don't override the script. Change the sprite. And then that's that. Yeah, and then add this scene to the treasure room. All right, well, let's just do it. Let's just do it and see what happens. So I'll save this inside treasure. I'm going to call this treasure chest display. Yeah, I like that. Then we rename this to treasure chest display. Okay, so the sprite's going to change from this to something else. I'm going to just randomly pick a sprite. So we're going to say plus 16. So it's a fish. Great. I just need a different sprite for now. You know, we shouldn't totally randomly pick one. Let's pick, let's do minus 16 and do plus 16 over here. There. So now it's a slightly different height display. Yeah. That way it just looks a little different. And now we need a new item category, which is going to be treasure chest. Which means we need a new item. Treasure chest. Which means we need item data. I was hoping we'd find this here. Yep. Cool. Treasure chest. Its value is, I don't know, 50? 25? Treasure chest to do fill this in later. Yeah, all that sounds good. Now we run into a problem here. Now, I mentioned this before, but this treasure chest is just 1 pixel too tall to fit into our item sprite sheet. It is 16 by 17. So we can't fit this in there. We could just shave off a pixel. And we could change the sprite sheet entirely and put like 1 extra pixel in all the sprites. We could pull from a different sprite sheet altogether when it comes to treasure chests. I'd probably opt for that option. So it's Atlas chords, and then maybe for treasure chests, we could just say like Atlas coordinates in a different sprite sheet altogether, or specify the sprite sheet, specify the height and everything. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about that yet. I think that'll be something we do later. So cleanup, if we ended up using the the taller treasure chests, then we should change item data so that it can specify which sprite sheet to pull from. All right, so I've got this open. It's called free chess. But let me go take a look at something else here. Hey, Ciala, addicted to the demo. I'm glad you're liking it. Yeah, I hope people end up liking the content after the demo because I think there are some lofty expectations for it. And I think it's purely based on what people probably assume is going to happen from other games or from, I don't know, development that's already gone on. And they're just filling in the blanks with a lot of like, well, I want there to be 15 hours of gameplay or something. And it's like, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'd love for it to happen. And it's still possible. That's what July is all about, is trying to figure out how possible it is. All right, so give me a sec. Pictures, super retro world. Okay, so here we are in the right folder. I'm gonna find chest. So here are all of them. I think they're all the same graphic. Is there a way to like open this directly? Yes, these are the same. These are lacking the blue one. Yeah, there's a blue one here. Huh, that's kind of funny. The fire dungeon just doesn't have the blue one. Okay, sure, whatever. Are any of these different? That's all we're looking for here. They're so far all the same. Water dungeon, yeah, the same. What about this? This is the same, but does it have more animation frames? I think it does. Yeah, they do. Wait a second. Why are there... I just I just realized this right now. Why are there 3 of the same frame for all of these? There's literally no difference, right? In any of the columns that take place here? Huh. Why did I never notice that? And why would they make a spreadsheet like this then? Hmm. Yeah, I don't see anything different. Do these look different? No. All right, what did I just make it up to? Whoops. We're up to farming. So we want to look at this one. So we only have 2 more to look at. Yeah, that's the same. I'm guessing this is the same. So they're not all the same. Some of them are missing the blue chest, but if they have the blue chest, then it's the same graphic that I have open here. And if you look down the sprite sheet, so here it is closed, then it gets like squished a little bit, then it starts to open, then it's fully open. So there are 4 frames per thing. But if you look at this one, this has more than 4 frames per thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a reused frame. So they have like 3 levels of it being open. I don't have that, right? Yeah, I have 2 levels of it being open. Oh well. Just don't worry about it, I guess. All right. Yeah, so let's go pull in any of these graphics that actually have the blue chest in it. Yeah, this one's fine. So we'll reveal in Finder and copy and paste into here somewhere. Items, paste. So we'll call this treasure chest. Cool. All right, now what do we do? We need to pull from this sprite sheet. I guess how do I want to do this? It's an item that shouldn't stack. It's something I never even thought of until just now. Treasure chest shouldn't stack. Neither should keys, so code them both at once. See the dictionary idea below. We gotta, I guess everything else that I've written here is not about actually making the treasure chest. Change how we show the key storage sign. We have perks board, say that you've built everything. Save the treasure room and all of the chests. There's a perk board, sure. This until you click that. We need to save that. Yeah. Okay, so treasure chests themselves, we need to make into a custom item. I guess they'd inherit from item? Is that even something we ever do? I don't think we do. No, we don't. Huh. Well, this will be interesting. Yeah, this will be interesting. What makes a treasure chest special? It's an item, but it's not stackable. It has a different tooltip. It has a timer and timer text for when it'll open. It could be highlighted as a destination for an item. Oh, God. Because you got to be able to put keys in them. Destination for an item. I got to be very careful with the design of this because this can get messy pretty fast. For keys, what else? Well, what else, what other code do we have inside of item that we may or may not need? You can't pick it up. You can pick it up. I don't know. I don't really decide that. Hey, Bucky. Still working on treasure stuff. Actually, I guess we'll be doing that most of this week, but it's been good progress so far. We have, do I have the game open? Yeah. So we have, this is going to be your treasure room. Ignore that I have a skeleton on my cursor. This is going to be your treasure room. It's empty right now. So we have not done anything interesting there. But we did make the weapon grinder and key storage. So if you build this, you get a weapon grinder. And if you turn this on and we make a bunch of workers, they'll drag any weapons that they pick up. I'll just keep making enough of these. They'll drag weapons into the weapon grinder. And the weapon grinder will produce keys based on the value of those items. So like it just made one key. And is that it? No. Okay, more coming over. Yeah, so we got a couple of keys. And now you could take these keys and you'd be able to put it into your treasure chest that you have. But I don't have a treasure chest yet. So we're trying to add treasure chests. And I don't think it's going to happen today. But yeah, it's an item, but it's not stackable. It has a different tooltip. It has a timer and timer text. It can be highlighted as a destination for an item. Destination for keys. Oh, it's animated. Or opening it makes it animated. Opening it animates it. Oh, that's kind of interesting. So maybe it should transition into some other type of thing. But item destinations can only hold items, right? Item display. What do you, how do you like set an item? Set item. Yeah, it just takes an item. That means that a treasure chest has to be an item. So that it can go onto a treasure chest opener. But that's only if a treasure chest opener is an item display, which it doesn't have to be. But it probably should be. Because otherwise we're going to have to write a bunch of custom code. Item destination, but only for keys. Should we? You know what? I never thought of until just now. We could double the size of treasure chests, I guess. I guess that's where we get into Mixel territory. Yeah, it might not look good. Well, let's go into the town scene and try this out. So imagine if we had a treasure chest display. So we put that there. And then, well, I guess it need to be bigger. Okay, so I guess we can't do that. All right, well, whatever. Let's make a sprite 2D and have this thing, new Atlas texture, quick load, free chest, and then pick, I don't know. What do we want to pick? This pixel right here? 217. 15, 15. 217, 15, 15. 217, 15, 15. Okay, so there's our treasure chest. Now we make that double the size. I think this would add some weight to treasure chests. It would kind of look silly if workers are carrying like a gigantic treasure chest though, right? Like, what do we put a worker here? And put that there. And they're carrying this massive chest. Wait, they look big themselves. They shouldn't. There. So they are supposed to move slowly when they're carrying a treasure chest. But I think this looks silly. Yeah. I think this looks silly. I think the treasure chest is too big. I think it can be bigger than normal, but it shouldn't be like 2 times the size. Even at 1.5 times the size, it's pretty large. It's a hefty boy. And 1.5 times the size is going to mean that when it gets rasterized, it's not going to look like it's got even pixels on it. What will we do? I mean, we could just render it at 1x scale. I could just set this like that. But now this looks like a tiny treasure chest. Maybe that's not a problem. Yeah, maybe that's not a problem. I guess it's kind of the difference between, if you look at A Link to the Past treasure chest, they had like a small chest and then they had the big chest. This is not at all what I want. Yeah, so there's one of the small ones. There's one of the big ones. I wanted to see if I could find it with boss chest. Yeah, here we go. All right, yeah, so you can see Link compared to the small one here, and then Link compared to one of the bigger ones. Open image. Yeah. So left side versus right side. I think that in Zelda, any of the treasure chests were interesting and exciting. So it didn't really matter the size of the chest. But I wonder if in Skeleseller we should like double size them or something. I'm probably getting ahead of myself. It doesn't really matter, does it? Yeah, it doesn't really matter. This is only once it's been set into a treasure chest opener. So yeah, treasure chest would inherit from item. It would have a bunch of different code in it. I think this is all pretty reasonable. Yeah. So the reason I came up with this in the first place is because items themselves are sprites, I think. Is that even true? They're rigid bodies. They're not even sprites. They have a sprite. Yeah. They're rigid bodies so that when they pop out of the portal, they're affected by physics. And I guess a treasure chest could be as well, but it'd probably have more weight. So like here, when I click grant items, you see them all slide out of the portal. A treasure chest would do that as well. And yeah, just have an animated sprite instead of a sprite. I guess that's what we need to customize here. That it's animated, but it only really needs to be animated once you open it. And at that point, it could cease to be an item if we wanted it to be. Hmm. Hmm. Maybe it can change into a totally different entity at that point. It can elevate off the stand, open, shower, loot everywhere, and then free itself. Well, Q free. By becoming a different entity, animating it would be super easy. Also, maybe we could even have it shoot items out of it in a special way. I'm still not certain how I wanted to do that. I did want you to have to click this thing. And yeah, it can be highlighted when it's openable. Where did I write that down? They drop just like any other item. And then they'll try going to the warehouse first. And if there's room. No destination. Did I write the slowdown thing? Yeah, I did. Try going to the warehouse first. Yeah, I wonder if they should animate the items flying to the warehouse. Did I write that down? Where's the looting stuff? This isn't needed. Where is it? I I must have written this down, right? When the timer hits 0, there it is. Highlight the chest with a crop shader, make it obviously, and click it. Clicking it spawns loot and deletes a chest. This means manifesting loot tables. See this for loot rules and tasks. All right, what is this? Items drop like they do. If there's space in the warehouse, they go there immediately. We should consider having them flat. Okay, good. Yeah, all that's correct. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. So we are going to manifest some of these treasure chests. The easiest way to do this would be to put them into the item sprite sheet, but then we need to clip some of them. Whereas if I leave them in the sprite sheet that they're currently in, for one, and I just still don't understand this, why are these all in triples here? Is there something I'm missing? They're literally the same sprite 3 times, right? I don't see any pixel differences between, if we just like do this, I don't see any difference between these two things. Yeah. And if when looking this closely, I spotted that like this pixel is not the same color as this one, which they look the same to me, that is not meaningful enough for it to matter. I think they're just literally the same, and I don't know why the person who created this sprite sheet had them look like this. But yeah, we can, as a cleanup task, we can just delete all the extra sprites from here because we certainly don't need that. So I'll write that down. The treasure chest sprite sheet has triplicates of everything. We can prune out the ones we don't use. We don't really even need to do that, by the way, because this is 9 kilobytes. So if we cut it down to 3 kilobytes, it's not going to make a big difference. But it does save 6 kilobytes. Technically, it's that it's saving some VRAM. Bandwidth-wise, you can't consider it to be 9 kilobytes because everything's going to be compressed in transit anyway. But in VRAM, it had to be pulled in as every single pixel without knowing what we're using. All right, so I like the idea that I had, which is to pull from a different sprite sheet altogether, which means item data needs to be modified to allow us to do that. So we just have atlas coordinates here. We will need to know which atlas to pull from Maybe just the bool like is. Actually, we don't even need a boolean. If it's a treasure chest, then we just know that it should pull from the treasure chest one. Well, isn't that nice? All right, let's go do that then. So Atlas is Oryx items, no longer the case. And region is going to be this stuff, which is also no longer the case. Well, isn't this dandy? All right, so we need to pull the Atlas texture. String Atlas texture equals item data, item category. Switch. Tell me the syntax. Okay, good. There we go. So if it's a treasure chest, then we pull from treasure chest.png. Treasure chest.png. If it's literally anything else, we pull from this. Good. Okay, so now that goes here. Oh, whoops. This needs to be Atlas texture path, I guess. All right, then tile size also needs to change. In which case, what we should probably do is string and int sprite size. So this is going to be sprite size. And we return two things here. We return this, comma, I don't even know what. I'm just going to write 20. And then for this, we do this, comma, game constants on tile size. Okay, now we just fix that thing. Great. So now what is the actual sprite size of the chest? What's the largest stationary item? So this is what they're going to look like at rest. I think this is the largest one. And it's 17 by 17. So they're just 1 pixel bigger than items are. There's no larger chest, right? Yeah, I think it's just that. Because I think this one's smaller. This is what? 17 by 16. Okay, so 17 by 17 will accommodate them all. Yeah. And then we just get the Atlas coordinates. The Atlas coordinates are a vector 2i. How does that work? They're in tiles, basically. Oh, because we say 2 pixel chords. This won't work. Yeah, this won't work because we multiply by tile size in pixels. We probably should not do that then. We should just get rid of 2 pixel chords everywhere. Yeah. All right. I think just delete every single reference to this. Yeah. And now does 2 pixel chords exist anywhere? It doesn't. So this technically isn't needed anymore. So in this case, what we can do is Atlas chords times sprite size. There. And now, I guess we don't need the extension either. And now we can try manifesting the treasure chest. All right, hopefully these are aligned correctly. So the first 17 by 17 block should go completely unused. That's this. We're going to have a problem. We're going to have a problem. Oh, no. It's like a weird offset. What are they doing? Because this does not have 17 pixels before they hit the next treasure chest. Here's what 17 by 17 looks like. And we're 2 pixels into the next treasure chest. So I've got to change this sprite sheet anyway. Oh, man. All right, let's just figure out what we need then for this. So we have 8 different chests. 8 chests. Each one has 1, 2, 3, 4 frames. 4 frames. Oh, wait. Oh, I know why. Because the total height of this includes when it's expanded, right? Yeah. So we got to figure out what the size is supposed to be, which we can probably just divide by what? 4, 8. We can just divide by 8. Oh, wait. We don't even need to look at that. We can just do this. Canvas. Whoops. Oh, God. What am I doing? It is 256, so it's 32 pixels tall for each of them. Okay. How are we gonna do that then? And what's the width? Width is 216, and there are what, 12? 216 divided by 12 is 18 by, what did I say, 32? 18. None of them use 18 pixels. Huh. Okay, whatever. All right, so 18 by 32. That's not gonna work for us, is it? As a stationary item, it won't. So we should just treat the coordinates like the start of the stationary item. Yeah. All right, this is definitely weird. Yeah, this is definitely weird. Okay, fine. I guess what we do is if item data dot item category is not equal to treasure chest, then do vector to I final atlas chords there. Well, actually, this is just sprite size. And then we use this for final atlas chords. Cool. Cool. This is really stupid. I'm like overloading what it means to manifest an item. All right, now let's try to get this exact chest here. So we're going to pull from, yeah, this pixel coordinate. What is that? 109.15. 109.15. 109.15. All right, and now when you press page up, let's have it spawn one of those chests. So add item treasure chest. Okay, let's try that out. Let's see if this looks really stupid. Well, it broke. When using a sprite slicing be better, save as splices. Yeah, I don't have a sprite, so I need to buy it. Since I think it's purchased, right? Resource file not found. Oryx miscellaneous. Where to get miscellaneous from? That's something I let the AI fill in for me. Items. So worth it. I don't make any art though, so I don't know if it's all that worth it for me. There are sprite packer programs. I know Sprite has one built in, but like there are also standalone sprite packers. All right, check it out. We got a treasure chest. Now we should be able to put this. Oh, nice. They can pick it up too. Yeah. Now, can you put it down and have it look convincing? Yeah, sort of. It looks like it's 1 pixel off. And it's got a shadow. I don't know if you let that shadow. I don't think I like it. Oh, God. I think we need a different item sprite from the actual treasure chest that gets put down, so that we get rid of the shadow. I'll write this down for the end because I don't want to do this right now. We may want to manifest different item sprites for the chests than what we use when the chests are placed. The chest sprites have shadows on them, which we may not want. Oh, what's this doing? Delete this. All right, so if we just spawn a bunch of chests out of here, my goodness, that's a lot of loot. And if we feed them to the garbage slime, yeah, it's worth a bunch of gold. Very cool. So if I tried putting these in the shop, they wouldn't work, right? Shop does not accept that type of item. Yeah, nothing should take this. Chef Slime only accepts food and potions. We can't put this over here. Key storage only holds keys. So it's going to eventually go into the treasure room. You wouldn't even be able to find the chest until you have the treasure room. Very cool. Okay. So what's next? 4 special item displays. Make a new scene inherit from item display that uses the enchanter tables and can only hold chests. Make a new item category for chest. So we've done that. We have not made the new enchanter table thingy. We got to go figure out how to do that. Where is that? World? Enchanter? Oh, it's built into the graphic, isn't it? All right. Well, thankfully, it's easy enough to extract because this one's all on its own, so I don't need to do anything special. I can just take this and put it in its own graphic. Yeah, so I want to have this be the like a storage for a chest. In fact, before we do that, we should probably figure out how does it look. So let's paste this over there. Does it fit? Does it look good? Oh, yeah. Oh, that looks great. That's perfect. And does it look good with the shadow too? Did I copy the shadow? How do we select nothing? Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. That's pretty nice. Yeah. All right, so let's copy this whole thing. So I want from here to here. And I want to make this its own image. And I want to take the purple that we have from the other image. Where do we find that? Here. Atlas, open. Okay, so we're using the green, red, and blue. We are not using this color. So let's use that color. So we're going to take this and fill in. Oh, no, this will be harder than I thought. There's like 5 different blues, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4. How many do we have here? 1, 2, 3. I only see 3. No, wait, 4. Yeah, no, there are 4. Okay, never mind. It should be easy. All right, so that stripe right there is the light color. Let's take this light color and paint that in. Done. Now, the main area. Then the one outline. And then the other outline. This is what someone with no art abilities has to do. Get a fraction of an artist's power. Does that even look good? I don't think so. Because there's a design on here. Did he put those on all of them? He did. Does it look good? It kind of looks good. Do we trust this? I think we do. Artist. It is I, Adam the artist. Yeah, well, we can always make custom ones of these later anyway. All right, let's save this. So export as... Keeps doing this. It pops up on another monitor or something. Yeah, it's like way over there. You see this? Except for I can't see it on my other monitor. I don't know how you're supposed to get to it. Because command backtick doesn't do anything. How do you get that window? Single window mode? Can I just turn that off? Whoa! Whoa! My monitor's going nuts now. It's like flashing these things over and over and over. No, stop it. I can't do anything. Oh, man. It's just going to keep flashing these. Look at this. This program is a mess. How do I stop that from happening? Wait, it just stopped when I did that. No. Oh, there's no winning. All right, well, we managed to somehow get to this, which is what I wanted. So let's just save this as treasure box holder. I think we had a different name for this, though. Treasure chest opener. Treasure chest opener. Yeah. Get rid of my dumb name for this. Movie torrenting dumb name. Where'd it go? Is it not exporting? Oh, there it is. All right, so what are we calling this? Treasure chest holder. Yeah, I think that's fine. Some of the virus window pop-ups. Ah, that makes more sense to me. All right, do we have treasure somewhere? We don't have any treasure graphics. I guess I haven't needed them. They're just in items. So then we should make one in here. Treasure. I do not apparently know how to do this. There we go. Okay, cool. All right. So building has 4 special item displays. Make a new thing that inherits from item display. Oh wait, we had treasure display right here. Maybe I should just call that treasure chest display then, huh? Cool. And then go load that in. Quick load. Display. Good. All right, so now some of these regions are going to have to change. There is a collidable area. Let's turn off all these other things that we have. All right, so this is the clickable area. This does already roughly represent the region that we have here. So I don't think there's too much we have to do. Oh, this doesn't inherit from the root scene. So this is not actually a good idea. Yeah. Also, we need to highlight treasure chest displays as valid item displays. Highlight treasure chest displays as item destinations when dragging a treasure chest. Get the building drop zone to work. Yeah. So this was dumb, right? Yes, I think so. Okay, that's okay. We can fix it. So we just got to make sure we put this in the same spot that we had the first one in. This is in town treasure chest display. So let's delete that. And we're going to make a new scene and inherit from item display. I don't know where that is. There it is. And call this treasure chest display. Give it a different sprite. And then change some of these things around. So like I said, clickable area is pretty much fine. The collidable area is probably like that. Yeah. And we save this in here. Can't overwrite scene that is still open. Oh, thank goodness. All right, now why did this scene change? What did I do here? Turn that off. I don't want any changes for that. Okay, not bad, not bad. So now we need a new script for this. Do we even? Only hold chess. I don't think we need anything special for that. I think we just start instantiating these into the world. So the treasure room is going to have a few of those. Treasure chest display. So let's just put them in random spots for now. I don't really care about this. There, we'll just put a couple in. That's fine. And do that. We should probably add them under a single node, huh? Treasure chest displays. Display 1, display 2. Good. So, treasure room. Go write some code. Private node 2D treasure chest displays. in ready, we're going to get that. Then anything that was inside of it, we need to do that here. Get children of type treasure. I guess it's item displays. All right, for each item display in this. Okay, so we got to set the category, item category. Can we even do this? This is protected, right? No, it's public. Oh. All right, well, then that's what we have to do. So now all of those displays are going to be set to treasure chest displays, meaning that's all they can hold. But nothing's going to highlight them as destinations yet. But we should still be able to try this. Let's close this. Okay, so we build this. We try putting any random items there. It's not going to allow us. It's not even going to... They don't work. They just don't work. What do we have to do to get them to work? Let's look at what we did for... What's an example here? I guess they're really just item destinations. The tavern's an item destination. We can look at that. Return the item bin. Got to be something else here. I guess it's not known as a valid item destination, so maybe we just need to change that. And then there's get valid. What does get valid do? All right, so we got to do something like this. Treasure room will accept item from worker. This doesn't exist. Cannot convert a treasure room. Yeah, we can't do any of this. So we need it to be very similar to weapon grinder, and it is an item destination. So we go change the treasure room into that. And then we implement all of its functions. Sure. Let's do it. All right, so I should have added a bunch of functions in, which we now have to fill in. So how do we do this for these? Get drop off point. Doesn't even exist. Oh, because item machine has it. Get drop off point. All right, it's just the global position of this thing. That is not going to work, is it? Nope. Nope, nope, nope. This was dumb. Yeah, this was dumb. It's... All right, I don't know what I'm doing. Is what's going on here. Let's go back to the get valid item destinations. This is not how it ever should have functioned. It should have functioned like this. We get the displays from the treasure room. So we need something like that. Empty treasure room displays. Treasure room not get valid item destinations. And if that exists, then we use that. If empty treasure room displays count is greater than 0, then return that. Sure. Okay. Problem is, none of this should be done unless the item is treasure. If the item category is equal to treasure, then we do that. Otherwise, we don't care. And this function doesn't exist anyway, so we're just going to delete the entire thing. And then whatever I did with the treasure room inheriting from or implementing an interface, we can just delete for now. We will probably have some functions like that there, but let's not worry about it yet. Let's allow for manual movement of items, which is in get all destinations. So the only way to know what all the destinations are is to have a get item displays. This function itself comes from some interface. I think it's item drop zone. No, it's not. Oh boy, what gives us that? Wait, nothing gives us that? That's just a coincidentally named thing. Probably should have made this an interface. Hey Mariel. What are you up to nowadays? Stream full time? Not quite full time. In fact, I guess that doesn't really mention it. I should probably change the schedule command. Yeah, let me modify that really fast. But yeah, I've been working on Skeleseller. The main thing I've been doing is this that you see here. Yeah, how have you been? Haven't seen your name in a very long time. It's been since October. Wow. Yeah, I guess I was working on Skeleseller back then too, so you've probably already seen what the game's all about. Yeah, let me change the schedule command here. Adam's general schedule is this. On Tuesday and Thursday, he tries to stream for 2 hours in the morning just to kickstart the day. Oh, you know what? I should actually modify the schedule. I need to think about that. Let's go do that right now. All right, Tuesday. How do we add one? Add stream. Adam learns live stream. Sure, whatever. Categories, software, and game development. Time. I tend to start at the same general time. 2 hours, I guess. Every Tuesday, every Thursday. Oh, you can't do that? This is such a weird way of customizing this. Yeah. All right, so we should have this set up now, right? Yeah. Deletes the schedule for now. Okay, so we need the treasure room to be able to return what all the item displays are. Treasure room. So we put this here. This comes from treasure chest displays. Then get all item displays can just be put here. All right. In fact, couldn't we have set that directly in the editor? No, I didn't expose it. We could have exposed it. You think AI is changing the way developers operate? Do you use AI in your builds? Yes and yes. So it is. I think AI is changing how pretty much everybody operates. Although in some ways it's kind of subtle. Like products you're using use AI, so now you're kind of also using AI. But even beyond that, I think we've already seen search patterns change. Like how often now do you search something on Google and you actually do look at the AI result? How many people use something like what's there we go. How many people use something like Find, which is just an AI search engine, or use ChatGPT to look something up? I was playing a board game with some friends and we had a question. I think two different people went and looked up on ChatGPT what the answer was rather than like searching in any other way about that. It's interesting. So yeah, what has it changed developers? It's like, well, developers you'd expect if there's some technology thing that they'd also probably be on the cutting edge of this. And lots of people have experimented with different ways. So there's the simple, just have some like AI coding buddy. And then there's agentic coding, vibe coding. There's all sorts of different levels of involvement you can get to. What was the link to the past picture? Oh, these things, the treasure chest. This was just me looking up the different sizes of treasure chests and link to the past. Because what I was saying was they're all exciting to open. So are the bigger ones even more exciting? I guess so, a little bit. I was just thinking of what we do for Skeleseller. Yeah, it makes my field have less jobs. It's definitely going to change the landscape. I think there are some jobs that have already been sort of cut back or changed quite a lot. Like customer support is a big one. A lot of customer support was literally giving scripts to humans. So if you think that there is a scriptable job and you just need a human voice for it, then once voice synthesis gets good enough and can follow a script and can go off script well enough, you don't really need the human anymore. So it's like customer support, a lot of content writing, I think has changed greatly. Any sort of ideation, a lot of, I don't know, some research tasks, I guess. And then, yeah, of course, things like coding, artwork, whatever else you might think of, music. Better open because you had the big key. Yeah, well, and also they would give you a more game-defining item, I suppose. Yeah. Okay, so what are we doing here? We're going back to town. We're going to take this. This is going to be treasure chest displays. And then we just concat these in here too. Everything's been done a ton of times. Recently, I've been doing some work on edge stuff, and it just lies like crazy. Cost me a lot of time. Just made stuff up. I think there's certainly reviewing you need to do and like re-prompting. But yeah, even for the mundane things, I feel like if that's all it ever did, and I don't think it's all it'll ever do, but if it's all it ever did, I'd still be pretty happy with it. There's a lot of just sucky boilerplate stuff you have to write, and it's not fun to write. And I can only imagine a lot of like, the way I kind of think about it is this: imagine you have some kind of like linter that it only tells you about problems it's, I don't know, 99.999% sure about, but it's not the stuff you're currently seeing. So it's like you could refactor these 6 functions. That's not something a linter is probably going to tell you. Like you could make one function out of these. Every once in a while, it can detect that there's identical code in 2 functions or something, but generally you need AI to figure out something more along these lines. That can be pretty interesting. Game voice actors will all lose their jobs soon. Why would companies hire them if they can create AI voices that they own? I don't want all lose their jobs. I think it's tough to talk in absolutes like that. But yes, certainly there are going to be some companies that use AI voice actors. I mean, I play a game, The Finals, and I think they only use AI voice actors. And they've actually got some personality to them where if they were to change them, you'd be a little bit jarred by it. Yeah. But yeah, definitely changing the landscape. I don't think anyone can argue that it hasn't already changed some things. You might have different opinions about its usefulness or whether you should use it or copyrights even, but it's pretty easy to say that it has already changed things. All right, so I need a treasure chest. Oh, nice. It's highlighting these now, but we can't actually put them down yet because I don't think anything's accepting them as an item. But why wouldn't they? What allows this to work for item displays? Add item display. Oh, all this stuff. Handle item clicked, on hover item, on stop hover item. Oh, great. And what, these all just dispatch out? Yeah. Okay. Well, then they are very easy to do. That's the plus side. So we just put these here. And then we go get whatever the other thing was. In fact, maybe this should just be, I didn't even think about this. Maybe this should be something that all of these functions, well, I guess the actions need to exist. And then I guess something needs to listen for these. Okay, I don't really like this. Oh boy, do I have some opinions. How's your day been, Kevin? Can't wait for AI in games. NPCs will talk back to you. Yeah, my opinion on that is a little different. So NVIDIA, I think, has a feature where they can make like, yeah, pretty much what you said. NPCs can talk back to you or something like that. But it's only on certain NVIDIA graphics cards. So now what happens if you don't have that graphics card? It's like, well, the AI still has to say something to you, right? So it's going to use a dialogue tree like it would have had before, or it's going to say something like just one single line that it repeats all the time. So it's like, if right now you have to develop for the case where people don't have this AI and where people do have the AI, then I guess all it can do is add a level of immersion to the game. But in the future, maybe this can just be some like, we trust that people have some neural processing unit and you don't need to rely on a graphics card, or just games, they just don't run on those machines anymore. So if you just don't have the AI feature, then you can't run this thing. And in that sense, it's not too different from very demanding games graphics wise. All right, so back to the storeroom to get these things on hover item. So not all of those though. Stop hover, hover, and click. On hover, stop hover, and click. So I want the first, fourth, and fifth. We're probably gonna want the other ones here too. Yeah, we will. We're definitely going to. They're drop zones. I don't like how this is coded, and I'd like to have a way of simplifying this. But now the 3 of those things should be invoked. Why are these as yellow underlined as they are? Drop, hover, changed. Oh, this isn't the same as... No, this isn't right. Why is this yellow? An event should not follow a property. Oh. Okay. All right, how are we looking now? Now something needs to listen for this. So we have a setup storeroom. And it's got pretty much all of these things. And I want to do this in the treasure room. So after we build this, we want to put these things here. There is no upgrading yet, but all the rest of these exist. Go around your neighborhood trying to convince people to let you in their house, and they respond via LLM. Yeah, things like that I think are going to be kind of interesting. And that's just that's like a simple control over the game, right? Either they let you in or they don't. It's kind of a human conversation. But now imagine if content was created based on an LLM. I think a good example of this is Scribblenauts. They didn't use an LLM, but the way this game worked is you could just spawn pretty much anything into the world that you wanted to, that you could think of, and obviously that they had coded. So I only played a very little bit of this, but imagine you could spawn in like a bird and a basket and a well, and that somehow helps you solve this puzzle. It's like, imagine these things weren't explicitly coded, and they knew what a well looked like by looking online and which properties you should have in the game by comparing against objects that already existed. So you really could have any object. You could be like, put in the Skeleseller character and it would just do that. Running a model locally takes a ton of VRAM. Yeah, but these could be targeted models. It's like I'm running a model for captions right now, and it's being done in real time. It's like it's a very dedicated model for something. There could presumably be something for dialogue that is not so crazy. Alternatively, it could just be an API, and then it's practically instantaneous because you're using whatever power they have on the cloud, which is going to be more than whatever your computer might be able to handle. All right, let's try this. Oh, it worked. Well, yeah, it worked, I guess. It feels a little weird, I guess, because there's no drop zone here. That's the problem. So we need to make this into a drop zone. And it kind of feels like we're a little bit off here. I guess not really. Maybe we want to make these a little bigger than they are. Yeah, probably. Okay, let's do that. So go into this scene. The clickable area is this. We probably want to expand it like that, and maybe down just a hair. Yeah. Imagine what crazy stuff people would be doing with it. Yeah, I think you can reasonably assume that that stuff is all happening. If there is software and there are guardrails on the software, then someone has removed the guardrails from the software. Simplest example just being, think of how people crack hardware. It's not like Nintendo wants you to pirate their games, but people want to, so they do. All right, so this should feel a little bit better. This is not going to come through on the stream because it's how it feels. Also, now that I see that the shadow is there, I think I don't want that. Because I don't ever think you're going to have the shadow or the treasure chest just like on the ground. And if it is on the ground, then it's not going to look bad without the shadow, would it? I don't know. I kind of want to delete that. Yeah, I think I want to delete that. Where are the treasure chests? So do any of them have anything other than the shadow there? No. And none of the items have shadows, is that correct? Yeah. None of them have any shading whatsoever. I think we should just leave it up to the graphic itself then. So I think what we should do is we should delete this, all the shadows from here. Yeah. If I don't already have that written down, we're writing that down. Shadow. Yeah. Clean up treasure chests. The sprite sheet has triplicates of everything, and we shouldn't have shadows on anything. That may change the dimensions. Yeah. Okay, well, we're getting there. This needs to be made walkable too. I didn't even think about that. Path. Clear a path to the treasure room. Conversational AI that can be run locally. It doesn't need serious video cards. There probably is. I guess it all depends on how intense the conversation is, right? Because imagine if you scoped it down to what will you eat for dinner kinds of questions. Like you could probably run that model on an old CPU. Because it's probably just so limited, right? So yeah, it all depends on how many tokens you need to process, how much context, how much it's, yeah, what it's trained on. They're a bit different though, no? Yeah, I don't really think this conversation probably has too much bearing though, just because like you can envision a future where through some means either AI has gotten easier for computers, computers have gotten faster, people have exposed APIs for this sort of thing for much cheaper. Any of these solutions could potentially work for it being practically instantaneous. One of them would require an internet connection. But even then, you could envision a case where it's like there's some public mesh network that everyone just connects to by default on whatever device they're on for free. Who knows, right? I mean, it's if we're just considering what's possible now, then yeah, it might be something that requires a video card, but in the future that could change. Oh, hey, this is gone now, isn't it? Like DNS? Not quite like DNS. What I was talking about was more like imagine a mobile network that you could connect to for free so that your laptop when you're just out at a public park or something would still have a connection. I guess it's pretty similar to just having Wi-Fi basically everywhere. Oh, wait, you can't search that way. Okay, town node path was only used for that. Yeah, so this can be cleaned up. I'll write that down over here too. Isn't needed anymore. It's not used. See where it used to be used. Yeehaw. All right. I think we have made some pretty significant progress. I think I should probably check this in so I don't forget what I was doing when I come back to this. So yeah, let's get it ready for check-in. Got a lot of things removed from here. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah. All right, so what's this about? We got to code this at some point. Allow workers to put items in the treasure room. Yeah, the rest of this is looking pretty good. These, I guess we can just delete all of these. Could you explain what your title means before you hop off? I just hopped in, and I'm guessing you coded in keys for chests, but not the chests themselves. Exactly, yeah. Yeah. Also, I'll be hopping off in a little bit. I can explain some more and show you what I've been doing. So we need to make use of these. These are when we make the drop zone stuff. So this is here to do get drop zones to work. Oh yeah, that's another thing I wanted to write down in the cleanup. There's a lot of code that's similar between storerooms and the treasure room. I wonder if the treasure room should, yeah. See what we can do about that. Take care of me, Earl. Hope you'll drop in sooner than 9 months from now, but good to see you again. All right, yeah, this is looking pretty good. All right, so allow or like add treasure chest displays. The treasure room has 2 of these. They can, oh, can you move stuff off of it? Yeah, you can. You can move a chest onto it or off of it. but workers can't do that yet. Also, the chests still have no purpose. Okay, so yeah, we have added a couple of things since like Friday. Oh, wait, one sec before I show this. Yes, good. Okay. Yeah, so we have the treasure room, allows you to find and open treasure chests. So once you build this, you'll be able to find treasure chests rarely from battles. And all it is right now is a perks board, which has nothing in it really, an NPC, which tells you about the farm because I haven't coded them yet, and then 2 stands for your treasure chests. So then you will also build this, the weapon grinder and key storage. The way this works is you turn on a lever here, and then workers will just bring weapons to it. So now let's say we had a bunch of weapons pop out of the portal. They'll just automatically go over there, and they'll grind the weapons into keys that you can then use to open any treasure chests you get. So now we got a bunch of keys. So now if I take a chest up to here, you'd be able to drag a key onto it. You can't do that yet. I haven't coded that. Yeah. Let me get these keys out of here. That's weird. Oh no, that's working. Okay, good. Yeah, nice. Yeah, so anyway, this treasure chest is going to have a timer over it. It's going to say something like 10 minutes remaining, and it's going to slowly count down. And when it hits 0, you'll be able to click it and open it, and a bunch of loot will pop out. But in order to open it faster, you'll put keys into it, and the keys will always reduce it by, let's say, a minute. So after 10 keys, you've guaranteed to open it, even if you somehow could click in 0 seconds. And then some of the keys might have some rare effect. So keys by default will be -1 minute of time on the chest. And maybe they'll modify the contents within, like plus rare items or weapons or something, plus gold, something along those lines. And then there will be a lot of perks to modify these sorts of things. I think at the same time that you unlock this will also let you get some other perks for the town, so that you have more to spend money on. So it'll be like the second half of the game, you're focusing on getting treasure chests, unlocking them, getting tons and tons of loot. So that's the plan for the rest of the main content. Main game content. We still have more bosses to do, the treasure stuff that we're working on. We need more locations, more items. We already have the adventurers, and we need some more perks, I guess. Certain keys allow for a guaranteed rarity drop, or just increase the rarity drop chance. Probably just increase the chance. But I don't know how all this is going to feel yet. So after we've done all the treasure stuff, we need to playtest this. Is it on the right track? What changes do we have to make? And this is basically the goal for the next week or 2 maybe. And then for the latter half of July, it's going to be figure out the replayability of the game, which I talked about challenge modes. I'm putting a lot of eggs into this basket. The general idea is that they're going to be run modifiers, and they could be positive or negative, and you can choose whatever you want. And yeah, let's just leave it at that for now. So as an example of a positive one, it might be something like you start with 3 adventurers. As an example of a negative one, it could be something like everything costs 15% more. So you can sort of craft a scenario for yourself, and there will be some predetermined ones. You can craft a scenario for yourself where you're like, you know what, I really liked battling in the game. So maybe you play battle mode, and one of the inherent modifiers for it might be something like adventurers level via experience points. So this is like a mechanics change in the game. And then you're like, well, okay, that's a little too easy though. Let's also add in some other negative modifiers here, like I don't know, monsters are tougher or something along those lines. So that after beating the game once, you now unlock a sort of a sandbox mode where you can play however you want. You can continue playing the game. Some people sort of wanted an infinite experience. So you can imagine sort of grinding everything to a halt and really like sticking in different phases of the game for a long time. Like, what if beating the forest took your adventures being level 5? Some people might want to play that way. I don't know. So like, let's give them the tools for doing that. So the combination of all of that works such that we should have enough compelling content for like one solid playthrough of about 5 hours. And then we should have some compelling ways of you saying, all right, I had fun playing the game. How do I keep playing the game? I don't think it's going to scratch the itch for people, sort of like how real roguelike games do this. Roguelike games have replayability at their core. So it comes down to everything. It's like every decision you get 3 choices for something. So you go down this tree enough and you're in a wildly different run from when you went down the tree in a different way. We didn't have that baked in. Like, you will at some point have experienced all of the adventurers we have in the game with all of their skills. And I'm not just going to keep adding more skills and more adventurers. I don't think that's a way to go about doing these things. So yeah, it's trying to figure out how we can reuse stuff to make the game a little bit more replayable. Slice and dice. Let me see if I can find that. This game? Tactical dice rolling roguelike combat. Yeah, so the roguelike part of this already probably meant that it lent itself better to replayability, is my guess. Take control of 5 heroes, each with their own unique dice. Fight your way through 20 levels of monsters. Try to take on the final boss. If you lose a single fight, you have to start over, so be careful. Yeah. Any amount of like inherent randomness to a game, I think, makes it easier for replayability. You get used to the characters and all their skills, but there's enough randomness for replayability. Yeah. Yeah, the example I always bring up for anyone who's played Super Mario RPG, I think it's a great game. And I think it has like barely any replay value. And that's okay. I don't think there's a problem with this. You play it, it's roughly like 10 hours of game, and then you move on with your life. And if you want to replay it, short of coming up with personal challenges for yourself, like, you just have to wait enough time. Maybe after 5 years, you want to play it again because you've forgotten enough of it. But yeah, you're not making different decisions on your second run through because the game makes you do it. It's not like, well, this run I didn't get Mario in my team. It's like, no, Mario's forced to be in your team. You're gonna get the best items for him probably. So yeah, it's either personal challenges or just wait long enough. There's some silly game modes, hard modes, easy modes. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm leaning toward, is something along those lines. And I've also mentioned Castlevania Circle of the Moon. I like this game. The way that you play through the main mode is just like normal content. And then you start getting, I think there are like 4 extra modes with restrictions and benefits. So it's essentially the thing I was talking about with positive or negative modifiers, but you don't pick the modifiers. So there's a fighter mode, for example, and it's like plus attack power and no magic whatsoever, I think. So you're like super buff going through like killing bats and whatever in one hit, but you have no magic. So you have no utility. You can't like run faster than you normally could or attack farther away or something. So yeah, what I want to do for Skeleseller is we can have a mode that has some inherent thing, but then after you've beaten it, you just unlock whatever was inherent about it as a modifier for something else. So imagine in this game, you'd be able to be like, all right, you know what? I really like the plus attack, but let's not have the no magic. Let's cross that off. And now we'll take from magician mode, you have like plus magic power. Let's just take both of these things and I'll make my custom mode where I'm just super powerful and ripping through everything in the game. And yeah, I think that would be interesting. And I think having some predetermined challenges there would be good. So there's some UI to figure out what custom mechanics do we need and getting all these run modifiers, probably figuring out save files and everything. If we can figure out the underpinnings of that in July, I think I will be a happy camper. Wonder how much YouTube and Twitch have affected replayability. Like if you watch someone play Super Mario RPG, there's not as much value in doing it yourself. Yeah, I think for a lot of single player games, people have switched to watching them. And especially if you find a game boring, it's like, I kind of wanted to experience the rest of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but I didn't really want to play it anymore. So I watched a little bit of YouTube videos about it, but I didn't continue doing that. I guess the same thing with Xenoblade. I always forget them. I think it was Xenoblade. The cutscenes were like crazy long, so I wanted to watch them at like 2x speed or 3x speed or something, So I had to go to YouTube for that because the game obviously isn't going to let you speed through them like that. So anyway, yeah, that's the main July goal. July goal is like prove the main content and prove the extra content. And if we get both of those things solid, I'm going to be pretty happy about how this game looks. If people say that one of the other ones of these is like, it's not quite hitting right, then we pretty much need to go back to the drawing board until we get this right. Because I don't think people are going to be okay with a game launching for like $10 or $15. It's got 5 hours of content. I think the closest thing to that is maybe Undertale. It was like $10 and I think it had about 7 hours of content maybe. How long to beat? So I guess you never know, but yeah, main story 7 hours. All the completionist stuff, I guess it's like they gave you some extra things, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Watching people play makes me want to attempt something different. You know, there's an effect that I've also kind of realized here. Hearthstone came out in like 2014 or 2015, and back then there was a beta that people could stream. So people were streaming the game, and when I finally got it in my hands and I was playing it for myself, I'm like, whoa, I've watched a lot, and it turns out I don't fully know what I'm doing. Like I thought I knew what I was doing, but then I had the decisions in my own mind, and I didn't have someone like validating them by running the stream. So I think that same sort of thing happens. You watch someone play a game and you think you know what's going on, but then you try it for yourself and there was some mechanic that was harder than you thought, or maybe pulling things off was harder than you thought, like especially any skill-based game. So I think Skeleseller right now is such that you ever see those mobile ads where someone is intentionally bad at the game? Like imagine if they're playing Mario Brothers and they're like jumping into the pit repeatedly and just dying. You're like, what am I? Well, I can do better than this. That's what they're trying to instill in you is I can do better than this. So I'm going to go play that game and show them. Well, that's kind of how Skeleseller works. I've seen a lot of people play the game and they do things suboptimally. And that's okay. They're having fun. But as a viewer, you get a little bit frustrated sometimes. And I've seen commenters on people's YouTube videos who are playing Skeleseller like, why didn't you do this thing? And actually, this is what happened with Idle Cub for Skeleseller. Again, I don't hold anything against him. I don't think he should have played the game differently at all. But if you look at some of the top comments, yeah, who else was thinking clear some more rocks? And then someone else said, where was it? Oh yeah, it's driving me crazy. You refuse to upgrade your stalls. Like they're basically backseat gaming in the YouTube comments. It's not even live, so this person can't take this into consideration. But imagine this person, like, did they go play the game afterward? And they were like, oh, well, I'm going to play and I'm going to upgrade my stalls. I'm going to like do better than this person. So that might actually help to some extent. I don't know. Something you said about the dopamine and doing something exactly how you see. Yeah. Maybe I can get that to 2x. Oh, I missed it. Wait, what's annoying? These YouTube comments? It's a good effect. It does help with marketing. Yeah. Yeah, I think the comments probably help, but I was also saying that I think just the effect of saying I can do this better than that person. I mean, I've seen some of the mobile game ads that take that tack, so I assume it's a studied enough thing to be effective. And I obviously wasn't intentionally trying to make a game that was like difficult to play so that other people would want to play it better. It's supposed to be casual, but as a result of it being casual, it means that any path will lead to success. You can have a terrible party and you'll eventually outlevel the content and win. There's no getting stuck in the game really. It's just a matter of time, and you can speed up that time in a lot of different ways. Oh, those mobile ads. Yeah. Oh. I see. So these two things were related. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think today was a great success and on many fronts. It wasn't just the coding. It was also that I didn't focus on like how much work I have to do. Start working on the chests themselves. Yeah. So I think we should keep that as a goal for tomorrow too. Embody bricklaying, no complaints, plenty of breaks. We will get through this. It should be fun. Stop talking about how much work there is and just think in a month, all of this will be done and it'll be great. It's pretty much true. And that's how this works, right? You put in all the time. You got to plan for things. Hopefully pays off. All right. Who are we rating? I have not raided Fail to Survive in a little while. Let's go raid Fail to Survive. He is playing Minecraft. Modded Minecraft. I don't know if that means anything to anybody, but he's played a lot of Minecraft mods and he's a very relaxing personality. Thank you all for watching. I will be on tomorrow, but just for a short amount of time. If you want to join on Discord, there's a link. There's the link to Skeleseller on Steam. And I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Take care and say hi to Fail to Survive for me.